Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry, I'm doing like 75 things at once per usual. Good morning. Yeah, it's cold. It is cold. It is. It is freaking cold, I'll tell you that much. It was freezing at the bus stop this morning. All right. Sorry. I had just been checking my Twitter messages this morning. I hadn't checked it up until now. I think we're good to go. Yesterday was worse. It was really cold. On X. I think we're good to go on X. Yep. Okay. Working. Good. It wasn't working yesterday. So I apologize to all of you who are on X and didn't realize we were on YouTube. I did post a post. So if there's a day that I'm not live and you guys don't see me on and you're on X, just know that I usually post a dude, that light is killing me. I'm sorry. I tried to turn it on so it's brighter. I know it's darker in here when I don't have the lights on. I didn't turn this one on, but it's literally pinging me in the eyeball. And because I haven't had my eye prescription upped yet, like one eye is a little bit blurry because I need to up my prescription in one eye. Both eyes have always been the same. And now it's not the same. One eye is a little bit worse than the other now, which is different for me. So like that, the lights, they ping me in the freaking eyeball and it starts to give me a headache because I'm already staring at the screens and my contacts need to be like adjusted. But my eye doctor was like booked for like 3 months. So right now I'm just kind of like on the list for if someone like cancels and then they'll like, squeeze me in hopefully. But yeah, so I got to shut that light off. So I apologize. I know the regular light isn't that bright. It might be a little dark in here, but I'm doing my best, folks. I'm doing my best. I had to shut it off. It gives me a headache lately. And I honestly think it's because my my things need to be adjusted. And if I put my glasses on, all you see is the light flashing off of them and the glasses are the same prescription. So that's not going to do us any good now, is it? I'm having my coffee this morning. The whist. Yeah. I'm like today. I'm tired, okay? To be fair, I was up very late on the phone and I honestly needed it, right? I'm never usually up late. I usually fall asleep very early. Most people know this. After my kid isn't asleep, I'm like, okay, time to knock out. But unfortunately, I didn't knock out last night. I just wasn't tired like that. I was tired, but not like tired to fall asleep. And I was talking to Deidre, and I got on the phone with Deidre and one of our other viewers here. I'm not going to say her name just because it's her regular name. And I really needed those laughs. Like we talked and just talked about random stuff and laughed and laughed, and I was feeling kind of discouraged, a little stressy and depressy. So I really honestly needed that. But I will tell you that we were on the phone until like 3:30 this morning from like 10. And the time just kind of flew by. We were just laughing and talking and laughing and talking and laughing and talking. So and then I had to get up, of course, at 7. So, I'm a little tired, not gonna lie. I had to have like two coffee mugs. The holiday season is getting to me. I'm starting to, panic. We're right before Christmas, and maybe that's it too. Maybe I get some little light sensitivity. The whist. Don't be surprised if I say a bunch of random kid shit like that today. All right, I'm I'm not in my I'm tired. So if I say a bunch of random shit today that comes off the cuff, do not be afraid, friends. It's just my tired me. I've said this before, I cannot be responsible for the ridiculous things that come flying out of my mouth at any point in time. Okay. I cannot be responsible all the time. My mouth can't even be responsible. All right. It's not my fault, right? So this is my second cup of coffee. Okay. Second. And it's hot coffee. And as you guys know, I don't usually do hot coffee. I like my iced coffee. But in the spirit of trying to save dollars and cents for Christmas for children, for my children, I decided to keep making my coffee like I have been, even though I'm not a huge fan of hot coffee. And I also felt like I needed a little more caffeine, to be honest. I feel like I really did need more caffeine. How did that go, by the way? Oh, I know you probably didn't. And you were on like the Jello diet and the bone broth. You know, that's like the worst ever when you have to go in for a colonoscopy and they tell you, like, hey, you can have this, you got to drink this really disgusting mixture. And then you can only have Jello, broth, and like Gatorade for like friggin' 16 hours. Or even more, depending. It's insane. And also, you're like starving at that point. You're like, I am starving like a hostage. Can somebody please get me a cheeseburger? Like, immediately when you're done, you're like, where's the nearest fast food restaurant? Give me something, anything. I'm starving like a hostage here. But I am assuming everything went well because you are here, my friend, which is nice. Also, keep an eye out on your mailbox today. At least those of you that live in Massachusetts should get your Christmas cards today. Those of you who do not and who gave me your address, you'll probably get them tomorrow. Oh yeah, ulcerative colitis. That's not fun. No, not at all. Not even a little. That sucks. I'm so sorry. You know, I have chronic pain, so believe me, I feel you guys. A lot of the stuff that you guys have, I will totally give you the cliff notes. Just give me a few minutes to just, we're just today's Tuesday. The Walsh case is over. We got that murder one conviction yesterday. I was not expecting murder one. I was expecting murder two. You like my title? I know. It's the Turtle Douche, You know what? If I made you laugh, I'm in, right? I needed the laughs last night. I'm not going to lie. I've been a little discouraged. It's a little discouraging when you watch people basically throwing their fucking wallet at people who are just lying to their faces. And, YouTube doesn't pay well, folks. It pays like, a tenth of a cent per what view or some ridiculous thing like that. So it's like you start to get a little discouraged when you're like, all you're trying to do is make sure that like people don't fall into this habit of falling for the bullshit and then getting hurt, right? And you're trying to just get the truth out there, make sure people don't get hurt, also cover your true crime cases, but make sure that you're vocal. Make sure that you're telling people the things that they need to know to stay far away from the fucking insane people like the Turtle Douche, right? And it does become very discouraging sometimes when you feel like you're not making any headway in that. I know how many people have been hurt by the said Turtle Douche. And who didn't listen. And it's like, I always try to at least hope that even one person listens and they get the fuck away from him as much as they possibly can. Run in the opposite direction. Don't run in traffic, but run in the opposite direction, I mean, yeah, it's cold. It is so cold. I mean, I'm even wearing a sweatshirt in my house right now, so I have a feeling I'm like getting a cold or something because the heat's on 70. It's warm in here and I'm still cold. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't sleep. I don't know. I had 3 hours of sleep, so maybe that's why. Toast for you. Oh, I can't wait for those PJs. Karen's making me PJs because she is a very talented and makes clothes even for her kiddo, which is super, super nice. And she made pajamas for us. And I love you for that. And because I don't even have pajamas. So I have like 2 pairs of pajamas total. What the hell? So apparently, I just got an alert in my email. Amazon Prime is issuing an automatic $2.5 billion settlement refunds for one of the class action suits that were against Amazon, apparently. It's currently issuing automatic refunds to millions of eligible customers as part of a $2.5 billion settlement with the FTC over allegations it enrolled consumers in Prime without their consent and made cancellations difficult. The total settlement is $2.5 billion with $1.5 billion allocated for customer refunds and a $1 billion civil penalty. That's insane. That's absolutely bonkers. Billion with a B. You enrolled through one of the challenged enrollment flows that the FTC cited in this case. You used fewer than 3 Prime benefits, such as Prime Video or expedited shipping in any 12-month period after enrollment. Automatic refunds are being sent out between November 12th, 2025 and December 24th, 2025. Automatic payment, PayPal or Venmo. If you're eligible for an automatic refund, you will receive an email from Amazon with instructions to accept the payment via PayPal or Venmo. You must accept the refund within 15 days, folks. If you prefer a check, simply ignore the email offering the PayPal or Venmo payment. After 15 days, Amazon will mail a physical check to your default shipping address. The check must be cashed within 60 days. Interesting. Also, it says beware of scams. But this is real. That specific. So I would check your emails, folks, I guess, if, you had been paying for it. No news yet. Okay, well, hopefully we'll find out. Yeah, the wisdom teeth. Poor kiddo. Poor kid. I don't wish that on anyone. Tooth pain is literally the worst. Literally the worst. The worst freaking thing ever. I get a lot of fatigue. I have very blah, and that comes with all of my medical, but I feel that, Yeah, it's supposed to be I'm trying, my friend. I'm trying. Yeah, it's gonna be like 55 tomorrow here in Massachusetts for any of you guys who live here. Isn't that amazing? It's actually going to be decently weathered for a day. 68 degrees. Oh God. I wish. I like literally wish, my friend. Right? Beach day. Right, Mish? That's a beach day for us if it's in the 50s. But yeah, it's gonna be in the 50s today, tomorrow. Tomorrow. That's so crazy. Yeah, there's lots of ice out this morning. I was trying not to fall on my face walking down the sidewalk to the top of the street to put my kiddo on the bus. And I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Yeah, my kids all have to be put out if you want to do it. They just get anxiety. And to be fair, I'm the same way. You want to do that kind of work, put me out, please, for the love of God. Hey, Lisa. But now it's done and over, and he's all good. And now it's Christmas time. I will not hold my breath. I was promised 5,000 or 2,000 from this government. Yeah, I wish, right? I fucking wish. That would be so nice. I mean, even 100 would be nice, right? That's $100 worth of Christmas gifts. That the government's not giving a shit. They said, hey, we'll take all your money for taxes and then we'll give you nada of it back. You can F off. That's, oh my God, that still hasn't come, Jesse. Oh my God. Why didn't you tell me? I would have been on the phone with them on a three-way already as your advocate being like, yeah, so what's happening now? You are going to need to send that overnighted now that it's taken so long. Oh, the kids love. My kid always gives me a hard time saying, I don't need a coat. I'm like, it's freezing. Yes, you do. You're putting on a coat, but I don't want to wear it. Too bad. It's like the kids don't feel cold. They just don't think it's cold. I'm like, you're putting on a jacket but a sweat. Nope, not just a sweatshirt. But I don't get, you still have to stand at a bus stop. I don't care if you're getting on a bus. You're wearing your coat. It's like they don't feel the cold or they just don't care. Like the day it snowed on Sunday, my daughter went outside to play in the yard with her friends. And she didn't care. She was just playing in the yard. She's got her hat and gloves and her coat on, but she stayed out there for a while and she was not like, oh, it's cold, I want to come in. They just don't feel it. They're just like, no, they don't care. They don't care. I'm like, damn, I wish I could still be like that and not care. Sorry, I had to check that. Conspiracy dog walks? Yeah, she sure was right. I feel that cold now. Oh my God, I've been on here 17 minutes and for the love, I'm tired, okay? Give me a break. I'm so tired. I'm tired, but not tired enough to be like, okay, I'm going to go take a nap and sleep. Like, there's no chance in hell that I would do that. Listen, I'm old. Okay. So naps are great, but I can't do them when my kids are at school. I literally can't until everyone's like safely home at home. Like, I cannot, it's not a thing. It's not a goddamn thing. I love that your dog's middle name is Tigger. I absolutely love that. These are the ways you can support the channel, guys. Let me get this over and done with because I totally forgot to do it in the beginning. And I'm really, really bad at forgetting to do this in the beginning, even though I should in like the first 5 minutes. I like space cadet out. And I'm tired again. So give me a little grace, God damn it. If you would like to help support the channel and our independent media and the information that the channel brings that has no influence. We have no sponsors or corporate backers or other channels that control what we say or what we don't say. We go to the beat of our own drum. We are not on this side, that side, up, down, around. We go to the beat of our own drum. We do what we think is right, ethical, fair, and I don't go by what this creator said or that creator said or who I might want to be friends with or who I don't like. I say what I think is going to help people and the information that's going to help them figure out what kind of people they're dealing with. You know, when we cover cases, it's easy for me. I can go over the documents and explain what's happening in court. The harder stuff is the people who get hurt, the victims behind closed doors, because there's so many of them. I can't even give you guys their names or what happened because it's all, private. And without their permission, I will not do that. They know this. I won't give any information like that without their express permission. So tomorrow, the Turtle Douche, I think it's tomorrow, right? No, 2 days. I think it's the 18th. So 2 more days. Thursday. Thursday. Turtle Douche has court in New Jersey. So it's like I try to bring any and all information that I can give you without compromising anybody's safety and with permission that'll help you guys understand the level, the depth of the amount of harassment people have received simply for disagreeing with a turtle douche, with a sewer turtle, right? Just simply disagreeing with the sewer turtle, not kissing the ring, not bowing down. And here's the thing, I'm not bowing down to anyone. I'm not bowing down to a goddamn anyone for any reason. And so I sort of rub both sides that get pissed off at me because I'm not willing to just do or say what either side wants me to do or say, because I can't call out bad behavior over here and not call out bad behavior over here because I'd be a fucking hypocrite, right? Bad behavior is bad behavior. Harassing people isn't okay. It doesn't matter who it is. It's not cool. Like, period. It isn't cool. The amount of people who are willing to get on social media and just make shit up, right? For instance, we have an account on X that's literally obsessed with me. Like crazy stalker, stage 5 clinger status shit, right? Stage 5 clinger shit, all right? We have stage 5 clinger shit, and this idiot is on there going, oh, she lives off her kid's social security. What? Bro, my kid's 21. Her social security goes straight into her bank account, you dumb fucking idiot, in which she pays her bills with. Imagine that. A 21-year-old that has bills. Imagine. That is just patently false. The fact that anybody would take the time to actually come up with some of this shit, then that same person had the audacity to say something about my husband, like, oh, he's a this or oh, he's that, he doesn't work. My husband works over 50 hours a week. He's always worked. Maybe you mean my ex-husband, who I left over a decade ago, that I took care of. But my husband has never so much as gotten a fucking speeding ticket, bro. He's a literal citizen. He goes to work, he pays his taxes, he comes home, and he takes care of family. Like, that's the shit that people will make up is the most insane shit I have ever heard in my life. Does it make you feel good to get behind a computer and go, today I'm going to say Twisted lives off her kid's Social Security. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just going to fucking say it because it sounds good. And then you sound like an idiot. My kid is 21 years old. It goes straight into her bank account in which she pays her bills with. You absolute fucking buffoon. You fucking buffoon. Like the shit that you have to ignore from the sewer turtle in order to do this bidding for him, right? And it's like, I'm used to it. This is shit that I've been dealing with for 2+ years, right? That's the kind of crap I've been dealing with for 2+ years. You just make shit up and hope it sticks with other people, and people go, oh my God, she does? I mean, anybody at this stage who's buying into what a fucking fake sock account says about anyone is living in La La Land, in my opinion. I don't get Social Security. I don't get food stamps. I don't get any of that. This is my income. This is my job. My husband works 50 hours because legally he cannot work more than that. There are some like exceptions to it where once in a blue moon he'll get 60. But legally speaking, they can only drive 10 hours a day. 10. That's it. And up to 5 days a week. And then they have to take a certain amount of time off by federal and state law because he's driving, right? So, yeah, he can't work more than that. That's, you know what I mean? I feel like I do. I feel like sometimes I might need the Cliff Notes for these people, right? But the level of insanity it would have to take for you to sit behind a computer and just to make shit up and hope that it sticks, to say this kind of stuff and be like, who cares if it's true or not? Who cares if I'm saying shit about someone and I don't even know if it's true? I'm just going to say it because it sounds good. I mean, it takes a very sick individual, you know? It takes a sick individual to make shit up, assume, make shit up, type it out, put it on the internet and be like, I gotcha. What? What? We're just talking about the harassment in general, but this is just something I saw. I think it was yesterday or the day before. It's just this one account that is like literally stage 5 clinger obsessed with me. And it's like, this is the same account though that's like, you know, go Turtle Douche. This is your job, but it can't be anybody else's job. Nobody else can have a job on YouTube. Only the Turtle Douche can, right? It's like everyone has to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. And it's not fucking easy in the beginning. It's not. If you're running a YouTube stream or channel at all, it is not easy. It's hard, dude. It's hard. It's fucking hard. It's not super duper easy, you know? It's you know, it's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. People do need assistance. Here's the fun part. I'm a low income family that lives paycheck to paycheck. We absolutely need it. We don't qualify. If you work full time, you don't qualify. That's the sad part. So you have the working poor that don't actually get any help. There's no help. Once you're working and bringing in income, they don't help. Like the only thing you might be able to get is health insurance. That's it. You know, nobody should be insulting people who have it. That's what it's there for. And most people, before they ever use it, paid into it their entire fucking life. I mean, I worked my entire goddamn life, dude. Physical work too. I paid into all of that. All of it. Whether it helps someone or 5 someone's, good. That's what it went to. That's what it was for. You know, that's what it paid taxes for. Hello. And yeah, nowadays to qualify for that kind of help, you literally have to be making nothing. And I mean nothing. Or have a part-time job. Once you're in full-time work, you don't qualify. Anything over like $18 an hour or something like that, after 20 hours, you make, quote, too much. And listen to how insane that sounds, living in a state like Massachusetts, where a 2-bedroom apartment is upwards of anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000 a month for a 2-bedroom with no utilities included. You know, it doesn't even go by hours anymore because now like minimum wage is up here. Now it's like if you make $18 an hour and you work for like 17 or 16 hours or something like that, you make too much. And that's not even enough to pay like one bill. So that, I mean, that's, you know, it's our government that needs to like reroute how that works, you know? But that's what he does. He makes fun of poor people. He seems to forget that just a few years ago, he was driving a really shitty car that was falling apart. And he was living paycheck to paycheck like everybody else on fucking planet Earth. Seems to forget that. So I find it funny when a lot of these people sort of shit on lower income people because it's like, I'm sorry, is everybody supposed to be rich? Is everybody supposed to magically all of a sudden, you know, listen, if I was rich, and I've told Karen this one. If I was rich, I'm telling you right now, I'd probably be in the Guinness Book of World Records for going broke the fastest from helping people. That's like a fact. I'd be like Oprah. I'd be like, and you get a house, and you get a house, and you get a car, and you get $10,000 to start, you know, your life, whether you want to invest it or, you know, use it on furniture or like whatever, right? Pay your rents, like whatever you want to do with it. Like you get a car and you get a house and you get $10,000. Like I'd be like Oprah, like boom, 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 boom. You know, like I would literally be in the Guinness Book of World Records. Like she won $4.7 billion and spent it in 37 days on helping people. But now there's, you know, 200,000 people who own homes and vehicles outright. Like, you know what I mean? See, 3 bedrooms, 3,500, nothing included. It's fucking insane to me. Speaking of Canton, there was a shooting last night. A 20-something-year-old woman was shot near a complex in Canton and right on the Stoughton line there. And as of last night, the police were still looking for this suspect. And I have the article actually right here because I was reading it I was on the phone with Deidre and I saw it and I was like, hey guys, let me read this to you, you know, because it was just popped up and it had just happened. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. But here's the article. It says police in Canton are searching for an armed suspect after a woman was shot near an apartment complex Monday night. Canton police officers and firefighters responded to the Lamplighter Village apartment complex around 6:40 p.m. for a report of a person shot. Police say the victim, a woman in her 20s, was shot while sitting in a vehicle and was transported to a Boston hospital with serious injuries, police say. An initial investigation revealed that the woman was waiting to meet someone when the suspect, possibly the person she was waiting for, approached with a handgun and opened fire into the vehicle. A second person riding in the passenger seat was not injured. Police say the suspect fled the scene and is described as a black male in his late teens or early 20s with a skinny build, about 5'5" to 5'6" tall, clean shaven, and was allegedly wearing a black beanie hat. While police believe the shooting is targeted, residents of the Canton Woods Apartments and Lamplighter Village Apartments, as well as many homes and businesses from Tracy Wood Road south to the Stoughton Town line, are asked to stay inside and shelter in supposed to say place while police search for the suspect. Turnpike Street, which becomes Washington Street in Stoughton and is otherwise known as Massachusetts Route 138, should be avoided at this time, Canton police said. There is a significant law enforcement presence in the area. Motorists should seek alternate routes. Police officers from Stoughton, Randolph, and Massachusetts State Police are assisting with the search for the gunman. And so I know a couple people who live in the area. And they were telling me last night while I was on the phone with Deidre and a couple other ladies that they could hear the helicopters over their house. The helicopters were lit all for like hours. Helicopters were over the house looking for the gunman. Right? I totally could if I could hit the Powerball. If I actually bought a ticket, you'd have to buy a ticket to hit the lottery. You'd probably have to play the lottery to win the lottery, and I don't. So, but you'd probably have to, right? Like, you know, goddamn. Yeah, the rent's nutty. It's just absolutely fucking bonkers. And you should, if that's what you need decorated, dude, it's absolutely what you should do. You know, it's really tough. We're one of the most expensive states to live in the country. The top most expensive state to live in the entire country is Massachusetts. Put that in your fucking juice box and suck it. Literally, Massachusetts, top state for cost of living. Like, that's gross. Our state's this big. There is no reason that our cost of living should be bigger than California, Hawaii, and New York. That's nutty. That's just bonkers. That's absolutely fucking bonkers. You know? Absolutely, Elizabeth. I agree with you. And that's the thing, is many people are grateful that it exists when they need it. You know? It was a Facebook buy gone bad. Oh, that's terrible. Why shoot her, though? Like, you didn't steal anything. Why just shoot in? You know? They got him. Thank God. A high school student? Oh, my God. Shut the hell up. That is sad. That is very, very sad. Yeah, it is insane, and it just keeps going up and up and up and up, through the freaking roof, up and up and up and up and up. Bonkers, absolutely bonkers if you ask me. Shut up. I'm gonna kill you. Sorry, I need a second. I'm gonna kill you. um Hold on. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. That caught me off guard there for a second there. Karen, my little Christmas angel over here, this little Christmas angel here, has made a whopping $500 Christmas gift donation because it says Christmas gifts. And that caught me off guard, very off guard. And so I picked up the phone and it popped up, and well, you got the reaction. So thank you. To do that to me while I'm streaming. You got me, that's for sure. Thank you. I appreciate you, my friend. That deserves a couple truth bombs. Oh, my stomach. His stomach. My stomach. I feel like I keep pressing the bomb button until the screen explodes. That was really nice of you, Karen. Thank you. Downright bomb. Yeah, it's freezing out. It's freezing out. Absolutely freezing. I know, the Cape. So, fun story. And it's pushing everyone out. You are absolutely right. So my grandparents, they've been gone a long time now. I'm still crying, sorry. My grandparents owned a summer cottage. My grandparents grandparents. So my grandfather's grandfather built 2 summer cottages in Kingston. So that's right next to Plymouth. In Rocky Nook. Most of you know where Rocky Nook is if you're from, anywhere near Plymouth or Kingston or, in that area. And so Rocky Nook is like a little peninsula, right? And it's one way in and one way out. And so it goes down and then all the way down into to like a dead end street, all the way at the very end. And there's a ton of other streets that sort of go off of it. Doot, 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 right? Everywhere. She is the Christmas angel, right? She is the Christmas angel. So it's like a peninsula, and then there's all these other streets, and back in the day it was mostly like summer cottages, right? Like, it wasn't what it was is like most of the street the houses would be, closed up all winter long. They wouldn't open up until summer. And then slowly but surely, of course, people were, buying them and or selling them, and then other people were buying them and they were knocking them down or winterizing them. My grandfather passed away of cancer in his early 60s, way back in 2004. And I found out I was pregnant with my daughter just the month after he passed. And it was actually only a couple of weeks after he passed. And I remember my grandmother saying, "Where there is life, there is death." I'll never forget her saying that to me. Turkey Sangies. Ooh, now you're making me hungry. I was literally thinking about a turkey Sangie earlier. I kid you not. But so it was like, so my grandfather's grandfather built these two. He built two little summer cottages, essentially. And one was given to my grandfather, and one was given to my grandfather's cousin, who was we call her my auntie Betty. So she's great aunt Betty. Bless her soul. She lives in Georgia now, and she has Alzheimer's. But she was a nurse, nicest woman you couldn't meet. Her and my grandmother went to nursing school together, which is how my grandfather and my grandmother met, was my auntie Betty. So nonetheless, there were these two summer cottages, and they were across the street from each other, literally just one here and one here. And so my grandfather had this one, and my aunt Betty had this one. And so, we used it in the summer. That's it. It got used in the summer. And then after my grandpa passed, my grandmother had to make a choice whether she wanted to stay in Weymouth in her home that she had been in for 30 and plus years, or if she wanted to sell the cottage. She didn't have, and again, the house in Weymouth was much bigger, right? Much bigger land, bigger yard, lots of, more bedrooms, could accommodate family, whatever. The summer cottage could not. It was two small, tiny rooms. The bedrooms were like as big as what a bed will fit in, essentially. Tiny living room, tiny kitchen, tiny bathroom, like tiny, right? Because it was a summer cottage. And so she didn't have the heart to sell my grandfather's cottage that he built, right? And so she sold the house in Weymouth, and she winterized the summer cottage in Kingston, right? I know. Now I want a turkey sandwich. Now I want turkey sangi. So my Aunt Betty and my Uncle Wade, was getting sick, and they sold their house in Holbrook and did this, and so instead of winterizing theirs, they knocked theirs down. They leveled theirs and built a new house. My grandmother didn't have the heart to do that because she wanted to keep the bare bones of what my grandfather's family had built. And so she kept it. She made a small addition to the kitchen, but they told her she couldn't build up because it didn't have a foundation. Like it had like a crawl space, but it didn't have a concrete foundation. So she could only build a little bit out. She couldn't go up or down unless she did what my aunt did, which is why my great aunt did it and leveled it. And she didn't want to do that. So she just winterized it, and she lived in it until she passed away. In early January of 2018, when my youngest was just about a month old. And when she passed, I remember saying to myself, my grandmother told me when my grandfather died, where there is life, there is death. And, my daughter was born and then she passed. But I mean, she got to meet all my children, which my sister wasn't that lucky. And the picture we used of her prayer card, I didn't pick it. My aunt did. My aunt doesn't have any children. My aunt now lives in that summer cottage, which is winterized. She's the only one. She has no children, no spouse, just her and her cat. But my Auntie Betty and my Uncle Wade sold their house in Holbrook, and they moved into it. And so my aunt and my grandmother used to do a ton of stuff together, painting and dancing classes and all these things. After both their husbands had passed, at least they had each other, and it was so nice for them and they would do all these things together. And so when my grandmother, she had COPD. And so when she, passed, it was quick. It happened very quick. I was lucky enough to get to the hospital before it happened, but when she passed, it happened quick. And my Auntie Betty had just already been diagnosed with the Alzheimer's. But, she's got grandkids and kids. And so when it got a little bit bad, her daughter came out and brought her back to Georgia where she had moved. And so now her other son just kind of looks upon the house or whatever. And my aunt, who lives across the street, will check in, make sure that nobody needs the driveway shoveled or something like that, to make sure that the people who check on the house, can get in and all that. But my best memories as a kid are in that summer cottage. It was a dead end road. There's a beach at the end that's dead. It's a dead end. So it's like a private beach. And then at the beginning of the road, way in the beginning of Rocky Nook, there's also another beach. But as a kid, I remember cousins, aunts, uncles, and we're all having 4th of July parties between the two houses. And it's a dead end street, and the kids were riding our bikes. And I used to be able to bring a friend when I was preteen age. So if we would go down there for a week in the summer, I could bring a friend, and we would sit on the deck. We had a porch, There was a porch and it had like, table, chairs, umbrella. And back in the day, we had radio, right? You didn't have like a phone to put the music on. It was a good old fashioned radio. And we would put the radio on the deck and we would play cards or we would paint seashells because my grandfather, when I was younger, used to go down to the end of the beach at the tide being out, and find the biggest shells he could find. And then my grandmother would bleach them and we would paint the inside of them. And every 4th of July, we did the 4th of July parade and we would catch candy and it was so much fun. And then we would go watch the fireworks, down on the waterfront. Ziggy's my favorite ice cream place and will forever be my favorite ice cream place, especially down there. But some of my best memories are in that summer cottage and down there in the Cape, with family and friends. And I mean, my grandparents did, they adopted my mom and my aunt. My aunt and my mom are adopted, and they got a better life because of it. But my grandparents were just very giving people. If they saw someone who needed help, like it didn't matter who it was. And especially if it was family, they did. And like, they just sort of instilled in me that like, you don't watch someone like have a hard time, or if you know something that can help someone, you share that knowledge, you share that information, right? So it will help them. You pass it along and you teach your kids like school is important, right? Education is important. Reading is important. I can actually say all of my children like reading. I know I'm a nerd, so I loved reading. I used to lock myself in my room and just read for hours, just regular books, just sit there and read. And all of my kids, they're all girls, but they've all fallen my footsteps in the reading department. They all love to read. My oldest, who went blind, she now listens to books, but she used to do the same thing. She would just sit there and read and read and read. It's like, I know, I still want that turkey sandwich. I still want that turkey. It's all your fault, Grave. It's not the goddamn turkey sandwich. Those were the good old days. They were the goddamn good old days. But some of my best memories came from my grandparents sort of creating this environment of just learning, but at the same time having fun. You know what I mean? And being able to do it on our terms as kids. And I think a lot of that is missing nowadays, right? The kids have all these technology pieces they can just run around and use. And for me, my kids don't, they go outside and they play, My youngest loves going outside to play, like lots of outside playtime. With her, it's more like she'd prefer to go outside and play than, be inside and do anything inside. Although it's cold out now, so we try to play like board games and stuff inside instead of being outside, in the freezing cold. But now that tomorrow's gonna be nice, we're probably gonna have some time outside tomorrow. But I mean, those were my best memories as a kid. And I feel like I try to give my kids as many of those type memories as I can, because those are the things they're gonna remember. They're not gonna remember, this squishy that I bought them, but they're going to remember. I mean, I remember what my Christmas tree looked out like as a kid with my grandparents. I'll never forget that. So it's like the presentation I remember, you know what I mean? But like the memories are what matters. Like the memories and the things that like I want my children to pass along to their children someday. You know what I mean? And I want to pass along to my children how to be kind to one another, how to try to bridge the gap between someone you might disagree with, and not by being nasty, just by being kind. And if you disagree on something, cool, you can disagree on it, but you don't have to tear each other down for it. And there's a lot of that going on. A lot of that. A lot of that, Cool. Very cute. Sorry, we're not buying. We're not buying. Appreciate the offer though. Yeah, we do the Legos together. I collect the Lego minifigures, but I love the flowers, and we'll sit there and put them together, I love the flowers. That was probably the best thing they ever came up with, was the Lego flowers. They're so pretty. NFL team on their toys. Damn it, I'm out of coffee. God damn it. right, let me see. Hey, girl. In the bushes. Are you going to pop out? Is Ashton Kutcher in there? Is he going to say we're being punked? Does anybody else feel like they're being punked sometimes? You sign on to X and you're like, all right, is this real life or am I being fucking punked? Am I being punked? Like, is this real or am I actually being punked with what the actual is going on here? Right? So we know that the sewer turtle has court coming up. We know that he told Jess Machado and Meredith that Betterow was leaving the team, and then Betterow said he's not. So why tell two separate people that don't even like each other or talk to each other the exact same thing? What would be the point? Well, in my opinion, two reasons that you would do that. One is to feed that to people and see if they say it out loud, and then either be like, see, they're liars because they said this thing that isn't true, right? Oh my God, that's a good question. Probably not long. So Betterow is saying he's still the attorney of record. So I'll pull up. Oh, I love that. Yeah, you, ma'am, you gonna be laid up for Christmas, which makes me sad. I wish they would have done it after Christmas for you. You know, I wish they would have done that surgery after Christmas and not before Christmas, like right before. Yeah, I'll close the news story. Hold on. Let me see if I can get up the Betterow tweet. Right? Is this like we're being punked? I feel like that's what it is sometimes, right? Like, like, are we being punked right now? Let's see. Let's get this up on the screen here. All right. Here we go. So this was the tweet that Betterow made. Okay. He said, social media, I mean, the comments on this are gold, just saying. But he said, social media is not real life. That should be obvious to everyone. Nothing should be assumed from third-party Twitter reports, particularly without any information from me. Well, sir, it's not like you answer questions when we ask them, so let's be honest here, okay? Shut the hell up. Nick Reiner has hired Alan Jackson. Gross. Gross. So here's a first-party source of information from me. Along with Tim Bradel, I remain one of two attorneys of record for Aidan Kearney and will continue to do so. I am engaged in defending a criminal case and free speech, not feeding Twitter speculation. So put this one to rest. I will have no further public comment on this issue. That is breaking news, huh? Thank you for that breaking news, my friend. So apparently, Nick Reiner has hired Alan Jackson. That's horrible. You know? That might very well be where he was, threatened with Betterow leaving if he didn't cut the shit. So he panicked and told people like he was just going to leave before he actually did it. But do we really think he's going to behave? Probably not, And that's the part that like people point out in the comment section. Space Coast is like, hello, it's coming from your own fucking client. I mean, there's definitely things that are done by design. Make no mistake about it. I refuse to like engage in like putting something out on a tweet that I know not to be true just to like, I refuse to do it. I mean, that's fucking crazy. If it's not true, I'm not putting it out there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. I'll obviously read to you guys whatever I'm seeing. Doesn't mean it's always true. But why would Aidan tell two separate people that Betterow wasn't going to be on the team anymore? Either he was trying to set up both of them to see who they would tell, right? Because these are two people who don't even like each other. Jess Machado, Meredith, they don't talk to each other. They don't like each other, right? Like, why tell two separate people that your attorney is going, right? He's leaving the team. Why do that? One, you either gave out the false information to try to use it as some sort of like, see, she lied about that. Ooh, guys, you can't listen to her anymore about the things she's saying because she lied about Betterow leaving. Like, or, the benefit of the doubt would be he thought Betterow was going to leave because of all of his shenanigans and just jumped the gun on acting like he was going to leave without Betterow confirming that he was, one or the other. One or the other. He told them to lie, probably to see who else they would tell, and then use it as some sort of like, oh, well, you can't listen to them because they, they said this, this, and this. I mean, devil, in my opinion, I would never listen, even a criminal defense attorney. If you are a criminal defense attorney, you can also choose which clients that you want to take and which you don't. That is not a case I would fucking take. No chance in hell. No chance in hell. There are just some that I would not want to take. I get it. Some people like a challenge. Hey, all the more power to you. But no, thank you. Well, you know what I say to that, Natasha? He might want to look in the mirror. His leaks are coming from him. His leaks are coming from him because they get to me fairly quickly. Oh my God. Imagine they just start screaming like Canton did it. It wasn't Reiner. It was Canton. It was the Massachusetts State Police. They did it. I agree with that statement. Doesn't mean he's staying on record, but he did say, I remain one of two attorneys on record for Aidan Kearney and will continue to do so. I'm like, okay, you could make that statement and then officially withdraw, I guess. But why any self-respecting attorney at this point would stay, I really don't know. Any self-respecting attorney now would have bailed a long time ago, but definitely after their client is sharing privileged communications, because you're waiving privilege by doing that. Yeah, Machado said that he told her. Here's the kicker. Okay. In this thread of replies here, Jess said, sorry that I perpetuated that rumor, right? Yesterday. This is what she said. So people commented on her tweet on Bettero's thing and were like, rumor? You said you got it from the horse's mouth, Jess. So which is it? How could it be a rumor if it came from Aidan himself? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Why would you even frame it as like, sorry, I perpetuated that rumor? Well, it isn't a rumor if it came from the horse's mouth, is it? I mean, they all need to take a little bit of self-reflection is what I think. Listen, I don't sit here and say, I don't call them, fat, ugly, rich, poor, what you drive, what you don't drive, where you live, where you don't live. Like, I don't do that. What I do is call out the harassment behavior and the sort of pandering to him. That's it. I don't comment on anything else because it's irrelevant to me. What's relevant is you're backing someone you know is dangerously harming other people with bold-faced lies because he did it to you. Yet here you are still perpetuating that behavior. Why? Fear. The answer is fear. Okay. Now, and this, I was talking to, Deidre and a couple other ladies last night on the phone. And I said this, and I've said it to you guys, and I'll say it again. If you are afraid of a creator that you like, that you supposedly like, that you're watching on YouTube or X or any other platform, right? Or you're afraid of your quote friend, right? You're another creator and you're friends with this other creator, and you're afraid that creator, your quote friend, is going to bash your family or friends or yourself if you do not agree with everything he says or do not do every tiny little thing he wants, and you are constantly walking on eggshells or making excuses for him because if you don't, you're afraid of what the results will be, then that is not your friend. It is not somebody who cares about you. Nobody else is afraid that I'm going to do any of that. Nobody who watches me is afraid that I'm going to do that. None of my friends are afraid that they need to walk on eggshells because I might blast their information all over the internet. No one is afraid I'm going to do that. No one. So I ask the turtle riders and the hate watchers that are watching right now. There's 121 people watching on X right now. If you are afraid of him and you are changing your behaviors and your comments to filter certain things out because you're afraid of upsetting him or criticizing him, and you have to make excuses, and if you don't, you're afraid the way he's going to react, that is not a friend. That is not somebody you should be engaging with. That is a scary thought that the fear is controlling people that way. That's insane. No, you should not fear a YouTube creator is going to go ballistic on you and tell you to die in a hole. You should not fear
that if you sell a couple shirts with a turtle on it, someone requested, that he's going to pick cherry-picked, screenshots of text messages and not show all of them because he doesn't want you to know what he did. He wants to call the other person bad, so he's got to make a narrative here. And drag someone for them selling 3 shirts that had a turtle on it and him not getting his 27 cents when he wanted it, right? Which they didn't have to give him to begin with. It was offered to him. He didn't need it. But again, it's all about money with him. No one should be afraid that they're going to have to deal with that. But yet here we are. This is not a friend. This is not someone who gives a fuck about anyone but himself. If you have fear of him in any way, shape, or form, that is not a healthy relationship in any form or capacity, even as a viewer, even as a follower. You give him that power with that fear. No, he can't. Well, not only that, is it's not copyrighted. He owns no rights to any of it. So him complaining about the likeness is crazy to me. Oh, you finally got it? Yay! You can't have it till then. You can't have it till then. Oh, I love that you have it, though. You can open it on Christmas. But no, he's in people's, like, it's my likeness. Like, you don't own every turtle on the internet, bud. All right? Here's one. Here's a likeness for you. We have one. Everybody want to see the likeness that we have? Fucking sue me. How about that? We have a likeness right here. Where is it? Here we go. There it is. Yay! Sue me. There's your likeness, sir. Do you own this turtle on the internet? I mean, it does have your name on it, to be fair. It does say sewer turtle. It does say sewer turtle, Come on. Come on, man. Like, this is, if I put this on a t-shirt, does he think he owns the copyright? Does he? I mean, fucking sue me, sir. All right. Sewer turtle. Circa 2025. Copyright stamped by Twisted Tragedies. I own it. If any of you fucks put it on a t-shirt, I'm going to throw an adult tantrum and I want my 27 cents and I want it now. Sewer turtle, give me my 27 cents for those t-shirts. Dear diary, they didn't give me my 27 cents for my likeness. I'm really upset about this. Love, sewer turtle. I'm just saying. I think you're right. People just assume that it's safer because he has thousands of subscribers, but lots of those people are just hate watchers. They're hate subscribers, hate watchers. Right? It's an angry turtle. I mean, I feel like this is what he looks like all the time, like even in his sleep. I feel like his eyes are bulging out of his head even in his sleep, and his little fists are like, meh. Sure, what turtle's gonna get you, meh. Like in his sleep. Sludging around in the shit and slime, There's a reason I named him Sewer Turtle, and it's because he's full of shit, and he lurks in the shit. Way down in the sewer with the shit. It's the reason why he is named the Sewer Turtle. Also, rest in peace to the John Barron account that is currently suspended. John, we don't know what happened, bud, but I'm sure I missed a funny. Whatever it was, I'm sure I missed a funny on that. He's currently suspended. So sucks. I mean, I'm just saying. This is why we gave the nickname. The nickname exists for a reason, okay? He's allowed to give nicknames to everybody, and they're not even accurate. Like, oh, I have it saved on the computer. I have to email it to you, but I'll email it to you. But nonetheless, these hold on, let me get the boop. Hold on. God damn it. This one was the version that I think ChatGPT gave me, and it wasn't very good. This was the version that I got from Grok. Grok did a better job. Thanks, Grok. We appreciate you. Thanks, Grok. But I'm not going to lie. These comments on Bettero's post, there's like almost 300 comments on this thing. Some of these are fucking absolute gold. Absolute fucking gold. This person, 3 hours ago, did he blackmail you to stay? Or do you have a humiliation fetish? It doesn't bother you knowing he's recording your conversations and sharing your private texts. It would bother me. Yeah, exactly. That one was too cute. Wasn't enough. Jenny said, run away while you still can. No one will blame you for wanting less stress in your life. Michael Collins, who's an attorney, by the way, says, this is a new one for me. I've never seen highly respected attorneys ever to go on social media to post about their representation and relationship with a client in an attempt to dispel, quote, rumors spread by their own client. Michael's an attorney, by the way. So I like to see sometimes what Michael has to say, because it almost always aligns with what I have said to you guys. So it's fun to go see what he says afterwards. Like, because it's like, what self-respecting attorney at this point, any respected attorney at this point, is going to continue dealing with these shenanigans? I'm just wondering, because no one I know, they would have dropped him like a fucking bad habit already and been like, peace to the Middle East, my friend. We are not fucking dealing with you anymore. You are your own worst enemy and you're bringing your own defense down. We cannot fucking do it, right? We cannot. It's not a thing. It's not a thing, goddamn it. It is not. Like, I can't. I have let me see. Hold on. I mean, to be honest, like, you know, Bettero did the whole thing where he like yelled at him for the Ghetto Mellow account, right? Remember the very racist toned Ghetto Mellow account where he like tweeted at his own attorney under this fake account with racist remarks, and then everybody found out it was him, and then, you know, whatever. And that was really embarrassing for his attorneys. Why wouldn't it be, right? And then, like an idiot, after Bettero scolded him and said, stop sharing our privileged communications, what was the first thing he did? Did it again for 700, Alex. Oh, that's right. That's exactly what he did. He screenshotted Bettero yelling at him and sent it to someone, right? It's literally what he did. And somewhere, his lawyers are staring at their phones going, oh, fuck, we just talked about this. We just fucking talked about this. Imagine going to law school just to end up like managing a grown man who can't stop tweeting himself into trouble or sharing things into trouble. Privileged communications, nonetheless. Like, his attorneys didn't sign up for crisis PR, folks, or emotional regulation, like, and Twitter damage control. Like, but here we are. Hashtag felon flicks. Like, dude's picking up felonies like it's his job, like it's his new favorite thing to do. Like, most of us in our pastimes watch things like Netflix. Aiden apparently likes picking up felonies like they're his job. So, you know, hashtag felon flicks. God damn. I mean, every time that dude shares something or posts, I feel like a lawyer sighs and adds another hour to his bill. Oh, God damn it. Fuck it. Let's just bill him another 10 grand. Oh, if you won't shut the fuck up, we could at least get paid for it, right? Like, just bill him another 10 grand for this shit. Nothing says client cooperation like ignoring legal advice for clout, my friends. Like, yeah, hashtag felon flicks. We've done this one before. That was my listen, that was a random day when I came up with that one. Hashtag felon flicks. All right, this is what he likes. Maybe they'll make a whole channel called Felon Flicks for him, and he can have a documentary there. Hashtag felon flicks. His legal strategy seems to be like panic, post, contradict myself, repeat, rinse. You know, it's a great legal strategy. Debunk everything my attorneys are trying to do in court with sharing things online. So smart. It's fucking brilliant, let me tell you. Absolutely brilliant. Enmeshment. And his followers, subs, aka Turtle Douche, participate in his show. Yeah, I mean, they do, but they also, for free, like dum-dums, do his bidding. The people who don't do it for free, he makes these deals with, right? I'll pay you this amount of dollars. I'll get you this lawyer. I'll pay off your, you know, gas bill, like whatever. You know what I mean? That's a promise or inducement, right? That you cannot essentially pay people off to make them do what you want them to do. That's illegal. But again, his attorneys are walking a very thin line there, especially, you know, Attorney Bradel, who, in my opinion, does not have a lot of ethics. Dude's already dealing with the BBO. on some very serious ethical issues, and it would not shock me at all if they took his license to practice. I don't know why Kelsey Fitzsimmons still retains him. In my opinion, I would get rid of him. Grave sends, thank you, Grave. Grave sends $50 and says, "For deck the halls with Turtle Boy's folly. Fa la 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 la." That's a good one. That's a fucking good one. Oh boy, do I need those laughs. I'm just saying. Woof. Laughing is definitely good for the soul. You know what I'm saying? It's good. It's good for the goddamn soul. It's good for the soul. But these comments are fucking gold, dude. Absolute gold. So Shay, our very own Shay says, maybe tell your client to stop spreading false narratives. He told this to 2 people now. Probably best to shut up and keep to himself. He's not doing himself any favors. And then Tulu said, what an ignorant idiot. If it's not real life, meaning social media, then why did you just post? What a fucking dumbass you are. So you're talking about Beto goes on there and says, social media is not real life, but then posts a post about how he's still representing his client. Well, if it's not real life, why the fuck are you posting an entire post about how you're still representing your client after your client is the one who spread said rumor that you're not? Like, make it make sense, dude. You make your attorneys look so fucking dumb, dude. So dumb. It is odd. It's weird. It is freaking weird, right? Why do you need to clarify? You're an attorney. Like, this isn't, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, again, is Ashton Kutcher going to pop out of the bushes with, a camera and be like, you're all being punked. You're all being fucking punked right now. Like, what the hell? What in the hell? So this person said, the continuum of compromise continues for the weak counselor. And then Lara said, respectfully, sir, what Turtle Boy is doing on social media is clearly affecting your reputation. I guess when he couldn't cry back Meredith, he cried back Betero. I mean, it's true, right? Denisha says, so no further public comment till he embarrasses the fuck out of you again, and that won't be long. Like, I mean, these people are not wrong, right? Oh, H. Vulgaria says, it's all your client's fault, stupid. All of it. But his freedom to speech, however he likes to whoever, must be protected at all costs. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Case 10 said, oh, I get it. Aiden did all this for attention. Like when he trolled you using his burner account, ask yourself this question. Is defending this guy where you want to be when Jesus comes back? I can't. There's a Reddit thread. Shut the hell up. Oh my God. I need to see the Reddit thread. Somebody needs to send me that. I need to see it. I need to see it. Gingy said, except it was Aiden himself who told 2 people for sympathy, no doubt. He's a troubled person. And then Chris the Koala comes in with some screenshots, folks, and says, weren't you going to be pissed at him, Mark? And here's a screenshot. It says Turtle, so whoever he shared this with then shared it, right? So this is a conversation between Aiden and someone. And it says, wrong picture, the tweet you made. And the person says, which one? And then it's a screenshot that was sent to them from Meredith. And it's about like Courtney and Tina and how his paralegals are doing stuff to bring him down. And like, I mean, that's just cuckoo in itself. Like your paralegals are actively trying to like sabotage you. Like you must be a really shitty person for your fucking paralegals to hate your guts. Just saying. Just saying. And then let's see. This guy, this Silence Do Good. This is a good one. You guys are going to love this. This guy says, stop the harassment, koala. Worry about the atrocities happening in your own country. So my dumbass, right? I'm like, did he just say koala Chris is harassing Betero by posting a comment? Is that real life? Like, is that what we're, okay, cool. So I said, if this is harassment, then what do you call what Aiden does? I'm guessing you don't have a response. LOL. Because no one's going to be able to answer that question. They can't be like, well, what Aiden does was First Amendment, but this is not. This is harassment. They can't answer that, right? So the only thing they're going to do at that point is stay silent. They're not going to answer that question. That's why I posed the question. I mean, what argument do you make there? That it's harassment for Koala to post something, but what Aiden does is perfectly okay and acceptable. Gotcha. And so, of course, We got no response from that person, right? Of course. And then Chris, in all of his glory and snarkiness, said, I'm an independent reporter, an award-winning space host. I'm just reporting news as it comes into our offices here in Australia. Do they not like it when their leader is the subject of an ever-developing story? Aw, I can't. It's comedy gold, bro. Fucking comedy gold, right? 6 people replied to Chris on that. 6. Richard said, "You're a pretty good space host. I'll give you that." Shay said, "Best response ever." I thought it was pretty good. Gingy said, "Drop the things." Pepper said, "The die face." And Ivan Barron did the ghost dancing. Hey, girl. So funny. Like, this person said, "The fact he has to post this is a nightmare. But he's a classy guy. I can see him giving Aiden a week or 2 before he withdraws, but I can also see him saying, 'Cut the shit or I will withdraw.' And him crying to Meredith about it for attention." Well, that's exactly what he did, right? Like, Bro Jackson said, "When caught in a lie, lie again. It's the Karen Reed Turtle Boy, and now Bettero away." Freedom said, "What the fuck? Bettero knows his client continues to wiretap people? Well, duh. Duh." I think, we all have some pretty good sources. I just see, here's the thing, right? I think Chris can put other things out there. It's much easier for him because it's not easily deduced who it is, right? For me, there's people that I don't want to, throw under the bus for sharing something. I can get the information, read it, and know it's real, right? But I also, if I share that receipt, that's putting that person at risk. That's putting their safety at risk. So what I usually do is I don't put the receipt out there. I just tell you guys about it, right? And whether people choose to believe me or not, that's on them. That's, you know what I mean? That's not here nor there. Most people know that I would not just put something out there that isn't, true. If I know it's not true, I'm not just going to say it. You know what I mean? Wait, right now he is? Shut the hell up. Hold on. Right now. Where can we, hold on. 8 minutes ago. Hold on. He's going to represent Nick Rayner following his arrest. I'm trying to find the, is this it? I don't know. We're going to find out. Hold on. I don't see anything popping up on YouTube about it. I'm trying to see. I see 16 hours ago, 2 hours ago. Oh, crap. Does anybody know if it's on right now and where? Oh, wait. This person has it. Hold on. This is outside the jail, it looks like. I'm still trying to find out. Hold on. Nope, this was the... No. It's not it. I mean, that's why he's being hired, right? Let's see. Dale announced it. Let me see. Framed and Ellen Jackson, blah, 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 blah.
After he and his wife were killed in their Brentwood home over the weekend.
NBC4 News was the first to break the story last night, and today detectives are retracing the steps of their son Nick, now being held with no bail on suspicion of murdering his parents.
Our investigative reporter Eric Leonard has learned more about his arrest. Joins us live in the newsroom right now with an update. Eric.
Hi, Colleen and Michael. Well, our law enforcement contacts now tell us Nick Reiner was tracked down by a group of detectives who are often sent out to make high-risk arrests. They say they spotted Reiner smoking on a sidewalk near Vermont and Exposition and say he may have ridden public transit to get there. LAPD robbery homicide detectives are trying to follow Nick Reiner's path from the family home in Brentwood to Exposition Park, where he was arrested Sunday night.
He was subsequently booked for murder.
Now inside LA County Jail, where he's on a no bail hold until he's charged and brought to court, which could happen in the next days. Several law enforcement sources tell us Nick Reiner didn't drive. And in the hours between the murders and the time he was caught, he may have walked south from Brentwood to the Metro Expo line, then ridden it to the Vermont station, very close to where he was arrested. The bodies of Rob and Michelle Reiner were discovered Sunday afternoon inside the couple's home in Brentwood. They'd attended a party with Nick at the nearby home of Conan O'Brien the night before.
Jesus
Sources
Christ.
familiar with what happened there tell NBC News Nick was behaving in ways that made other famous guests uncomfortable, and that Rob and Michelle Reiner shared their worries about Nick's health with other partygoers. Nick is 32 years old and had a long struggle with drug abuse. He'd spent time in and out of rehab, which inspired the 2015 film he co-wrote with his father called Being Charlie. In an interview with AOL to promote the film, Nick talked about his experiences in rehab and developing a new appreciation for his father after they worked together.
We didn't bond a lot as a kid. Like, he really liked baseball. I like basketball, and he could watch that with my brother, but baseball. But I just, when I saw him do that, and it was something that I'm interested in, I was like, wow, like, he really knows a lot. And like, it made me feel closer to him.
It's not clear yet if police believe the murders happened shortly after that Saturday night party or sometime on Sunday. The LA County Medical Examiner hasn't yet announced the causes or timing of their deaths. Nick Reiner was in police custody for about 8 hours before he went through the booking process, so it is possible he has spoken to police about what happened. The next significant development we're watching for should be the decision from prosecutors on what charges to file. That could happen as soon as tomorrow. Live in the newsroom, I'm investigative reporter Eric Leonard, NBC4 News. Back to you.
All right, so that's that. We're going to do this. Let's see. Yeah, that was a really mean tweet. We read it on the other day. Someone pointed it out to me, and I read it, and I was like, yeah, that's fucking horrible. These people were murdered. I mean, if they liked you or not, it's kind of irrelevant. They're dead. Like, yeah, that haircut was really bad. I don't know. I feel like someone had to have told her it looked good, or they butched it. That's not even like the interview. It's just him going into court. Trying to see if, I mean, this is TMZ, so where's, I mean, they have a picture. What the fuck? Pop-up ads. The picture says is calling in the heavies after being arrested for allegedly murdering his famous parents, because Alan Jackson tells us Nick hired him as a defense attorney. It's was emotionally incestuous, being a limited public figure or not, and directly contacting their friends to discuss an issue they have because they didn't agree with what they posted is bananas. It is bananas. Still has that terrible haircut. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to find an interview with him, but I don't see any interview. Hold on. Nick Reiner fails to appear for Los Angeles arraignment. His client's first appearance in court could be as early as Wednesday. Robert and his junkies and Nick failed to appear in LA court to face charges that he slit the throats of his famed director dad and mom, with his lawyer saying he has yet to be medically cleared. Nick's lawyer, Alan Jackson, told reporters outside the courthouse that his client's first appearance in court could be as early as Wednesday, although that will be decided on a day-to-day basis. He refused to say who's paying for Nick's legal fees, including whether the Reiner family is involved, or will
the near do well Nepo baby is accused of killing Rob 78 and his 68-year-old wife Michelle inside their Brentwood home sometime between Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. So he's not medically cleared. I don't even know what that means. They don't medically clear you to go to court. Like, you go. They bring you, they freaking put you in shackles. I used to do transport. Maybe Mel has it. Let me see. Let's see. Usually Mel doesn't mind if I plays a clip of it if he has it. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Trying to see if Mel has it here. Is this it? Hold on. What is this? Competency is an issue. Well, that's the thing. I worked at a prison that does the competency, and there's no such thing as we don't medically clear you. Competency, yes, that's a completely separate thing, but medically cleared as in for an arraignment? No, you get arraigned. Like, you go in and you get arraigned. We bring you, we put shackles, handcuffs, you get in the party bus, which is what we call it. We bring you to the prison unless they want to do it through screen, and you get arraigned. Then you come back, and if they raise that competency issue, right, then okay, at that point, we now have to do an assessment to see if you're, quote, competent to stand trial or not. I've never seen anybody not be competent to stand trial, even after a little bit. And again, I worked in a prison for the criminally insane, so that's essentially what you do. That's what happens there, is we figure out whether you're competent to stand trial or not. That's why you would be sent to Bridgewater. That was our big part of our job. It was to see whether someone was competent to stand trial or not. But the term he used, which is medically cleared for an arraignment, that strikes me as really strange. Well, that would be different. If they were, unconscious, then they wouldn't obviously be able to be there, and you would ask for another date. You would tell the judge he's in the hospital or he's unconscious. But using the word medically cleared makes it sound like you had a boo-boo and couldn't make it in because you got a boo-boo. You know what I mean? Like, medically cleared. Like, was he shot? I don't, you know what I mean? Like, and he can't get out of his bed. I mean, even Lindsay Clancy was arraigned from her hospital bed on camera. Just saying. For me, that's weird. Like, here, again, I'm not really 100% familiar with, the weird way that California does things, but here, that's just strange, especially since, like, that's the field I worked in, was dealing with competency and stuff. Like, the way he said medically cleared is just strange to me. Competency and medically cleared to me are two different things. Even if he was detoxing or withdrawing, we would still bring you. Doesn't matter. You could be shaking and we're still bringing you. You're still getting arraigned. It doesn't matter. People get arraigned still covered in blood and been beat up from the cops because they fought. Like, Bridgewater. They want to get it done and over. So unless you're like actually like, unconscious and you can't participate, like, I mean, again, even Lindsay Clancy, who's paraplegic and I think now, was arraigned from her hospital bed. You get arraigned. You know what I mean? Like, I just find it weird. Like, if you want to see if someone's competent after that to stand trial, sure, but they can still be arraigned before they stand trial. It's not, are you competent to be charged? That's not the way it works. It's, are you competent to stand trial for the charges? Not, are you competent to be charged? You're charged regardless. If they want to charge you, they're charging you. You can't be like, wait, stop. Hammer time. Don't charge my client because they're not medically cleared, sir. Like, don't charge my client because, they might not be competent. No, you get charged, period. If they're going to charge you, you get charged. Then they decide whether you're competent to stand trial. It doesn't stop charges or arraignments usually, which is what strikes me as strange.
I'm trying to find in Mel's thing if he got. Okay, what the hell is going on here? FBI shows up to the courthouse, blah, blah, blah. Further live coverage is expected. This is sort of outside of the police station, I believe, or courthouse. I don't know what this is, but I'm just like skimming through Mel's live here. Oh, I found it. I found it. Oh, it's a TM. It is TMZ. No comment. Hold on. Let me get this on the screen here. This is what I found it. He did find it from TMZ because it shows the TMZ site, but I don't know where unless it's like on the front of the TMZ site. I mean, let me see. Oh yeah, I found it. Hold on.
This is your holiday reminder.
Oh God, with the stupid ads, bro. Like, we don't want to hear your dumb ads. This is why I have premium on YouTube, okay? So we don't have to deal with freaking stupid ads. Ads are stupid.
Or a reason to call the babysitter.
Yeah, I don't know. We never have to medically clear anyone to go to court. I've never heard of that. We don't do that here.
Get your budget. DSW. Let us
We don't
surprise
medically
you.
clear everyone to go to court. You know what kind of time that would take?
With no period saying no period.
Hey guys, out of the way so you can get through.
To represent Mr. Reiner. And his reason for not coming today, I know you talked about it on the elevator, but why isn't he here?
Every inmate has to be medically cleared before they can be transported to court. He has not been medically cleared. It's just a procedural issue.
I've never heard that. I mean, maybe
And
they
where's
do that in
Mr. Reiner
California.
now?
Don't do that here.
MCJ,
Okay.
Vince County Jail.
And just to triple confirm, the murder case has not been filed yet.
He sure
I have
does.
not received any filing. And I don't believe the court has received any filing at this point.
You spoken to your client at all?
I'm not commenting any further than what the procedure of the court today is.
How was your client's spirits today?
Really? That's off par for you, sir.
That's the whole point.
We love the cameras.
Can we expect a hearing tomorrow?
We'll be back day to day. The bailiff has indicated that the sheriff's department will take it on a day by day basis, and so hopefully he'll be cleared tomorrow, and we can get him there.
And again, the reason why we're not having it today.
Oh my goodness! How many more times do I have to say it?
Three more.
Eric, why is he not here today?
He's not been medically cleared.
That's right.
Not medically clear.
Correct.
How long
Every
does-
single inmate goes through a medical clearance.
Never heard of that. But we don't do that here. We don't.
That's
Every
process.
inmate doesn't get medically cleared.
And he has not yet been medically.
So maybe that's something California does. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Court TV is talking about it. Hold on. We shall pull that. Just multitasking today here, folks. Not that I don't always multitask, but geez. Yeah, it's probably a California thing. I don't tend to take Alan Jackson's word. As someone else here just pointed out, as Claude pointed out, he has a way with wording things on purpose, in a purposeful way that's kind of misleading sometimes. And so again, I am not familiar with what the policies are for California and whether they medically clear every inmate, but we don't do that here. To everyone, when they got brought in, you are forced to take a shower, change your clothes, be searched, strip searched, and then you get like your blood pressure taken. They write down whether you have tattoos or not. You get a phone call, and then you get your cot and your clothes, and you get sent to your cell. We don't medically clear anything unless you say you have a medical issue or problem that you need to see them for. And even then, unless it is abundantly clear to the jail, you still have to fill out a slip, wait to be seen, wait for them to bring you. Like, it's a whole rigmarole, right? Like, they don't just go, okay, you're an inmate. Now we bring you to medical and we clear you. Like, do you know how kind of money we would waste? What kind of time we would waste if we did that for every single inmate that was incoming? That would be fucking crazy. And so we don't do that. We don't do that here. You know what I mean? Yeah, no shit. I want to know who's paying for it, though. Who is paying for
for Alan Jackson for him. I mean, we know he's rich, but is his parents' money being used? Like, I don't know. It's not on their live streams, which means it's gotta be on Court TV's website. All right, let's see. No, with the freaking stupid pop-ups. I really hate that. It drives me bonkers. This is why I prefer things. 4 million, no bail. Now no bail. Oh, they're in a break ski right now. We'll be right back for these messages. His bond was 4 million. Now he's held with no bail. Well, that's what defense attorneys do. They bend and they twist. I might have missed it, and I can't go back, I don't think. So, we know that this case is going.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. We are in Bakersfield, California, watching closing arguments. Before we head back to the courtroom, quick check in Nevada, where a sentencing hearing is underway for defendants Jesus Ayala and Zamir Keys. The two men pled guilty back in October to the murder
I'm
of
trying
a
to
former
see if there's
64-year-old.
I see
Andreas
Julie
Probst.
Grant
Authorities
has something from this
men
morning
used
about
a
it.
stolen car to hit Probst as he rode a bicycle in a local neighborhood. That is a
Shout out to Julie. Hi, Julie, my friend. Keep doing what you do.
Later this afternoon. But right now we're in Bakersfield,
Friend of the
California,
show,
watching
Julie
the closing
Grant on
arguments
Court
in the case
TV.
against Maya Hernandez.
She's a peach. I absolutely
the mother
love
of two
her.
is accused of leaving her two
She's
young
just a
sons
good
in a car
person.
for more than 2 hours,
Like,
causing
not
the
just a
death
good
of
host, not just good at her
baby
job,
boy.
but like she's got a
Her
very
two-year-old
big,
survived.
large
Testified
heart, and I
yesterday
love that about
tearfully,
Julie.
recounting her version of events.
She cares about
Hernandez
people, and that's
standing trial now
maybe
for
why she's so
second-degree
effective
murder. That's the
at
top
her show.
charge. That's what the state of California wants this jury to come back with on a guilty verdict.
I
This
just saw
defense, on the other hand, says involuntary manslaughter is the appropriate punishment for this young mother of two. Let's go back into the courtroom for more of the state's closing argument.
I don't want to see the courtroom. Hold on.
Essentially locked in an inferno with rising heats.
Okay, I don't want to see that. Hold on. I just saw it, and now it's like not popping up. What is happening? Is this it? No, it might have been.
Who is facing 2 charges of murder for the deaths of his mother and father, Rob and Michelle Reiner. Alan Jackson is now representing Nick Reiner. He, of course, is the attorney who a lot of us watched during the Karen Reed case. He's as high profile as it gets in Los Angeles. And according to Alan Jackson, he says that his client will not be in court today, Tuesday, for medical reasons. Jackson told reporters outside of the courthouse that he didn't know the medical reasons, what the issue was, but said that his client, Nick Reiner, will not appear before Wednesday.
Weird.
Alan Jackson just coming on board on this case. Our Cody Thomas is at the LA courthouse. We'll have more throughout the day as now this takes a little bit of a different turn when someone like Alan Jackson enters the fray. That's for sure. Marie Ferreira with us quickly. Marie, before we head back to Bakersfield for more of the closing arguments in that case, your thoughts on A, Alan Jackson representing Nick Reiner, and B, medical issues. We do know he was on suicide watch, will not be in court today.
My immediate thought is that they hired a big gun. And from what I know about the son, how is he affording an Alan Jackson? It lets me think that the family support him. And it lets me believe that the medical condition is mental health. Even though we don't think mental illness is like physical illness, it is a medical condition. And I believe for him to engage in this sort of parricide, killing both his parents in such a brutal way, he had to have some sort of a mental illness. And I anticipate mental illness, drug use, addiction, and the effects of the drugs on his mind is going to be a big part of Alan Jackson's defense. And they did hire big guns, and it shows family support because, again, a man like Alan Jackson with his skills doesn't come cheap.
Absolutely, a family ripped apart because of the actions, apparently, of Nick Reiner. That is not a live look. That is just a tape of Alan Jackson. Of course, we know him well. Here at Court TV, we'll continue to monitor, but the headline at this hour is that Nick Reiner will not be making his initial court appearance as we first expected because of a medical issue, and that Alan Jackson has been retained to represent Nick Reiner moving forward. So we'll continue to follow that throughout the rest of the day. Our Cody Thomas will be joining us throughout the day today.
That was it. For that, at least, for that part. So, interesting. Interesting. I'm trying to see. You know, I saw something else here that was interesting to me. You guys remember the John Benet Ramsey case, right? I hope the trial will be streamed. I watched it on California. Sabrina Lamone. Highly recommend it. It's wild. If it's streamed, I mean, obviously we'll watch it, but it's probably not going to be for a long time. But you guys remember the John Benet Ramsey case, right? I mean, if you like true crime, there's no way you've not heard of the John Benet Ramsey case because it's one of the most prolific cases that had to do with a child, and I don't even know how long. She was found in 1996. But there is a clip here that struck me as interesting. Anything about that case is interesting to me. It's so long ago, and they kind of botched the investigation way back when Colorado did, Boulder did, in my opinion. Right? Apparently, like, what is there? No other high-profile attorneys? Like, I get it. It's California, so I guess maybe that's why. And like, okay, they saw him on TV, and I'm assuming that's why. But I mean, there's got to be other ones, you know. I don't think the family. I mean, you never know, though. You never know. It could be like a distant rich cousin, you know. You never know. It could be someone that's like family, but not like immediate family. You know what I mean? Like someone he was close to or friendly with in the family. I don't know. But I found this to be fascinating. This is about the book and what their theory on the John Benet Ramsey case is.
With DNA technology, Lou Smith, the legendary detective that was brought in to work on this case by the DA early on, out of retirement, told me, he said, this case will be solved by DNA.
The Ramsey family was under a cloud of suspicion, but no arrests were made. John Benet had been sexually assaulted and died by strangulation. I had the chance to sit down with legendary forensic pathologist and lawyer, Dr. Cyril Wecht, before his death. And here's what he told me that he noticed about John Benet's injuries.
Not a device, it was a rope around the neck.
Yeah. Did it have some...
Which, by the way, always with the collar of the sweater pulled up so that there were no markings on the neck. And where it tied around the wrist, that the sleeve was always pulled down so that it would never leave any markings on the skin.
Dr. Wecht found that there was evidence of sexual abuse that happened prior to John Benet's death. Now, police in Colorado are insisting that this case is still open, an open investigation, they say. They say it's a top priority, and they're using new DNA technology. Let's bring in someone who knows so much about this case. He is the co-author of the book, Who Killed John Benet Ramsey? He wrote it with Dr. Cyril Wecht. Let's welcome on Charles Bosworth Jr., award-winning journalist. Charles, wonderful to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming on. And tell us, what was it that really made you want to write this book with Dr. Wecht?
Well, I had the great opportunity. My publisher called me one day and told me that she had a co-author project that she thought would be good for me, and she mentioned that it was an unsolved case, and that there was a coroner from Allegheny County in Pennsylvania who was looking into it and was an expert in such cases. I had heard of Dr. Wecht, but I did not know him personally. And she said, I'd like you to consider doing this co-authorship with with Dr. Wecht on, and I'm thinking it's some case in Pennsylvania. And she said, it's the JonBenet Ramsey case.
Wow.
And I said, so you're asking me to write a book on the #1 unsolved murder case, working with a world-renowned genius-level forensic pathologist? Yes, I think I'd be happy to do that. And
well, you were up for the task.
That was
certainly
absolutely.
You're an award-winning journalist.
That was just part of my relationship with Dr. Wecht.
Right. Oh, very well respected in your own right. You are, Charles. And what you found. Your book is excellent. By the way, I've read it. Everyone interested in this case should read it. It's excellent. I mean, chocked full of the science, the facts. And what you found contradicts this theory that an intruder did this. Tell us why.
Everything that we looked at pointed to an inside case. #1 for me was always the ransom note. You've got a 3-page ransom note written on legal paper. I believe one of the handwriting experts at the time said it was written by a right-handed person using their left hand, and would probably take about 30 minutes of excruciating writing to block print this note. And the note itself is bizarre. For one thing, it mentions a ransom amount, which happened to coincide with the amount of John Ramsey's bonus for that year, $118,000. And no kidnapper has ever requested an amount like that. They always ask for $1 million or $5 million or whatever it may be. But that note itself, and it made some very personal references to John Ramsey, and like use that good that good Southern common sense of yours in responding to our demands.
Our Joy lives in Colorado,
and it was written on paper that was found in the home, using a pen that was found in the home. So this is an alleged kidnapper who comes to his victim's
writing
home
a letter for so long,
unprepared, and uses resources that he finds in the house. So that made absolutely no sense to us as something that an outsider would do.
Right.
And of course,
And the kidnapper doesn't take the child or take the body to get the ransom money. So there's that, right?
Yes,
You all have pointed out. It's stunning. And she was in this room that investigators didn't find the first time they swept the house, as I understand it, Charles. And then it was John Ramsey who the day later is said to have discovered her. I have a clip from Dr. Wecht when I interviewed him a few years ago, and I asked him what he found when he was reviewing the nature of her injuries. And this is graphic and maybe upsetting to some. I want to give that warning.
He did die, didn't he? Matthew Ramsey, yeah.
It wasn't penile penetration. There were no sperms, no spermatozoa, no seminal fluid, no foreign objects that, were around that, and she was 6 years old. So I don't think she would have been into masturbation or anything like that, I guess girls and boys engage in, girls as well as boys. I don't think there's any question about the possibility of some other instrumentality.
So Dr. Wecht, to be clear here, opined that this was digital penetration that had been going on prior to the date of her death, and that it was this contraption that was around her neck. The handle of the garrote, was apparently from an art brush. I understand it, right, Charles? That belonged to Patsy Ramsey in the home. So again, items from inside the home being used to create this contraption to, asphyxiate her. And this was the way Dr. Wecht theorized. Correct me if I'm wrong, Charles. Is that someone was vicariously an adult? It's Dr. Wecht's. He's been very vocal about it. It's his legal theory. I'm not saying it's ours at Court TV, but it was his legal theory for many years in medical theory that this was John Ramsey, perhaps, who was responsible for vicariously having sexually abused the child and that the suffocation was accidental. And he says that the blow to the head was to cover it up. Do I have that about right, the way I'm explaining this as a layperson, Charles?
That's exactly right. Yes, Julie. Yeah, right.
An interesting theory.
There's just no evidence that there was
He did work
anyone
on a lot of
else
cases.
from outside the house involved in this. This was a very personal crime, a face-to-face. And as you said, Dr. Weck thought that the death was actually accidental. He did not consider it a murder. He considered it obviously a homicide based on the facts. But he said that she died accidentally from having the garrote around her neck pinch off the vagus nerves that run down the sides of the neck and control respiration and heartbeat and a lot of the life-giving bodily functions
For epilepsy.
It
stops the seizure.
Through a process of
There's a
elimination,
vibration to the vagus
there was nobody else in the house capable of the acts that Dr. Weck analyzed. Since this time, the original time of the murder, which is we're coming up on 29 years, John Ramsey has acted in a way that we see innocent people act, and he has maintained a public profile. He has discussed the case publicly. They wrote a book. He's been on the TV as much as anybody in this case in recent years, and that's a very compelling argument. But we find that there was just nobody else. Certainly, the brother, who was 9 years old at the time, the ransom note was vastly beyond his capabilities, and there's just no evidence that anyone else was involved.
You're covering up what your kid did. Maybe you write the note.
We came to our conclusions partly based on a process of elimination.
George Costanza.
Right, Charles. I encourage everyone to read the book. I could talk to you all day about this. And to be clear, the police never charged John Ramsey or Patsy Ramsey, and never announced that they were suspects, nothing like that. So I want to be very clear on that. The case still open. And you're right, he has behaved as an innocent person may behave. So we shall see what this investigation yields. Charles Bosworth Jr., please come back as we keep getting these updates. We got one recently from Boulder Police. They're looking at some DNA. So we'll have another conversation sometime and see if they can get to whomever did this to this precious child.
I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you so much, Charles Bosworth Jr. Friends at home, thank you.
Shout out to Julie, friend of the show. So this is her talking about something else, but I find that to be fascinating. I think there's so many different theories in the John Benet Ramsey case that it's hard to sort of pin down one. There are so many possibilities. They did prove that it was possible that somebody could have gotten in the home. It could have been someone in the home. I mean, it could have been either one, right? Like it could have been either or at this point. But they have that DNA, and they've had DNA for a while though. So why no answer? Boulder really effed up that investigation, in my humble opinion. Way back in 1996, they stomped all over the scene. They let people in and out. There were Ramsey family members, friends inside the house, all over the house. And while her body lay in that house. So, I mean, I think they really effed it up royally, in my opinion. The crime scene, and even outside, like there were probably many pieces of evidence that were missed. They didn't do a thorough job. I mean, I get that it was 1996. I give a little grace there. All this new technology didn't exist, but there were best practices, right? There absolutely were best practices on what you should and shouldn't do in a goddamn crime scene, and they did not even follow best practices, of course. And they did a shit job, in my opinion, and I don't want to harp on Boulder PD, but the way that Boulder PD behaved afterwards, to me, was a huge red flag, that they were also covering up the bad job that they did, right? They didn't want to take any public scrutiny or any responsibility for mucking up the John Bonet crime scene and the investigation as a whole, right? So that's my opinion on that, because there's just so much I feel like they could have gotten out of that if they, and this is where we talk about a two-tiered justice system, my friends, where there is a two-tiered justice system where, you know, some people are treated differently by how they live, how much they make, what kind of house they live in. Do they live in a house, an apartment? Do they live in the rich town or a poor town? Do they live on this side of town or that side of town? What kind of car do they drive? Can they afford a car? Can they afford groceries? Right? And that's part of the problem that we have as a society with our justice system, which is it is very two-tiered. And I don't think there's any attorney out there that's going to claim otherwise. I mean, that is something we need to work on, because we can't have people who have money just getting away with whatever they want because they have the money to get away with that, whatever they want, right? Because that's, I mean, everybody should be treated equally. Doesn't matter. And that's just not how it works. If you get a public defender, chances are, if you get lucky, then you get a really good public defender. But those are few and far between nowadays. Basically, if you get a public defender, 90% of the time, you take a plea deal. Even if you're not guilty, you take that plea deal to stay out of jail. They don't hire the private investigators. They only see you on court days right before something's about to happen, instead of actually doing their job, which would be to talk to you ahead of time, look into this, look into that, hire this, hire that. A lot of the time you don't see that with public defenders. They don't want to extend that kind of money and resources on someone when they're only getting paid $25, $35, $45, $55 an hour. And if you are private, you could charge $500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $5,000 an hour. You know, yeah, they did. They let a whole ass parade in the house. They might as well have brought drums with them, dun, 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 and a clown car, and just let all the clowns out. You know, the whole fucking circus, a whole goddamn circus. Hey, Beach, a whole goddamn circus inside that house is what they. I mean, there was no way at that point to tell whose DNA or whose hair or who's this or who's that, because you let everyone and their mother in the house. Everyone and their mother. That should have been cordoned off immediately. Immediately, you know. And yeah, they got the leeway simply because of their influence. And that should never happen. Should never happen. To be fair, Karen Reed got some of that too, even as a defendant. Money buys things. Just the look of money buys you grace. And that should never happen, you know? 1996, I was 10. I was born in 86, so 96, I was 10, you know? Yeah, that just strikes me as weird. You know, I get it. Listen, I get it. Like, it's your child. Like, you don't want to let them go. I get it. But at the same time, like, that's a little much. That's strange to me. You know what I mean? Just strange. You know, it's just weird. Weird. All right. So back to this, right? I'm sorry, but these are fucking comedy gold. These are goddamn comedy fucking gold. I can't stop reading them because they're so fucking funny. So this was all the like comments to Chris, because everybody had to like ring in on what Chris said, and then he unredacted the screenshot here. And then Gingy said, so he lied to Meredith on purpose? No surprise, right? There you are, Beach. There's you. Social media is not real life, but here you are replying. We just pointed that out. Like, oh, it's not real life, but you made a whole comment here about how you still represent your infantile client. Got it. So this person said, so it's not concerning that he went and told an ex who he'd know would leak it that he fired you? I don't put it past Aiden for 1 second to lie to Meredith and set her up for whatever reason. I don't put it past him to do anything. Sapaw said, I pray your daughters are never at the other end of his quote free speech. You are all disgusting and he's going to jail. James Black Sheep Baron said, please blink twice if he blackmailed you. I mean, I'm not going to say that didn't come across my mind. It did. It 100% did. And then AIM wrote this really interesting comment, right? I read this one and I was like, hey, it's kind of on point for Aiden. He or she wrote, I wrote on Meredith's space that TB may have lied to her, hoping she would share it, and then denied to make her look like a liar in public. True, something he would do. Assuming she recorded, then the trap would be to indict her for wiretapping, right? Are you grounded? No, you're not grounded. No, Mom, you're not grounded. Go to your room. I see. But sometimes YouTube takes it. Like if it has like a trigger word or a trigger phrase, YouTube will automatically take it out before I even see it. Like YouTube has its own like filtering thing. So if you guys don't see your comment, it's because YouTube filtered it out more than likely. So thanks, YouTube. They even when I'm trying to type to you guys in chat when we're watching something and I'm typing, it'll filter my comments. Like, dude, I'm the host. You fucking filtering my goddamn comments. I could drop 72 F-bombs, but I can't write something in my chat. Come on, man. Right? No restrictions. She said, I said this and I'll repeat it. I believe TV told Meredith that Bettero is dumping him. Even Jess said he spoke to TV on Saturday and TV told her that he is cutting off Bettero. So the question is, what type of sick mind game is TV playing on these women? Moreover, no one should give a damn whether Bettero is retained or not. It's not really relevant and won't change the fact that Aiden shares privileged information for the WWW fam and will continue to do so. So to the WWW fam, protect yourself because these mind games can be damaging to your health. And then this person said, isn't Twitter speculation free speech? Aren't you going to battle to defend someone who made a living off of Twitter speculation and swayed a murder trial's outcome by organizing over X? Imagine the sleep you'd lose if your client and his brigade ever turned on you, literally and figuratively. It seems you're complaining about vanilla X speculation while defending harassment via harmful X speculation. That's real life. Yeah, it is a little quiet. I noticed that myself. Oh, yeah, you can go to all messages too. The chat is set when you come in to top chat. So you have to go to the top of the chat and change it from top chat to all chat. And then you'll see all the comments. Otherwise, it'll like filter what it thinks is like top chat, you know? I agree with you. Nudge, nudge. And then Sap said, I hope you don't think he's going to stop leaking. He's already leaked details about a sealed case. God, you're supposed to be so, quote, brilliant. I guess you are really just that money hungry. Now I've said it and I'll say it again. This must be an all-time career low, Steffi said. Oh my God, that's a good comment. Well, this is embarrassing. Okay, yep. But Twitter isn't real enough. You have to step in to do damage control. Hope you charge him premium whenever you have to do PR for his drama. You are only enabling him when you have to lower yourself to do jobs for him. You're not his dad. I can't. I hope the money is good. It must be entertaining. So Peacock said, oh, it's not. I was under the impression you came here of Karen Reed almost joined her team, joined TB. I thought I saw you at court, you know? These rumors didn't appear in a vacuum. Speculation was valid. So I really think it's extremely disingenuous to treat us that way, Mark. Oh my God. It's not real life until your family is dragged through the mud because your mental midget just had to expose a homeless man sleeping. And it's like, very good point. Like it's only Twitter drama or not relevant until it's you, Mark. Mr. Bettero, do you really think that if Aiden had a chance, he wouldn't throw your ass under the bus just as fast as he would throw anyone else under the bus? Because if you really think that he wouldn't throw his lawyers under the bus to get himself out of trouble, you got another thing coming. This is why I say any self-respecting attorney at this point has figured out that Aiden would throw anything and everything under that bus in order to save himself. And so any self-respecting attorney would say, I'm outie. See you later. Peace. I'm not doing it anymore. You're a fucking liability. You're too much of a goddamn liability. At this point, he has damaged his own defense. He's literally screwed up his own arguments that his lawyers are making in court. Come on. And then we get down to the good one, right? We get down to the good one. We skip past Lana's because I'm confused as to why you're simping for the guy and also doing videos about the horrible, awful shit he does and how terrible he is, because there's no chance in hell that I am going to warn the public about how awful he is, right? And then I'm going to get on here and I'm going to say this, okay? This is Lana. This is what she said. Thank you for making this public comment. Hey, Maestro. Also, social media is actually real life. You are a real person, Mr. Bettero. and you just use social media to put out a professional statement. I'm glad to hear TB still has your representation. Everyone deserves the best defense. What? Bro, listen, not saying people don't deserve defense, but I also think that attorneys should respect themselves and their craft and their abilities enough to know when to bow out to the point where your client is imploding like a Hiroshima bomb. Just right? Like, at what point do you realize that your law license could be on the chopping block eventually because he keeps roping you into these illegal and very, tricky on the legal boundary line things because he can't tell the truth even to his own attorneys. Like, hello, attorney-client privilege. If you tell your attorney, hey, I murdered, Goldie the goldfish, then you're on trial for murdering Goldie the goldfish. Guess what? Your lawyers can't be like, well, Your Honor, they told me they murdered Goldie the goldfish. They still have to come up with a defense for you. They're not allowed to tell anybody that you said you murdered Goldie the goldfish. Not the cops, not anyone. It's attorney-client privilege, right? He can't even be honest with his attorneys so that they can give him the best defense. I don't think he's ever been honest with anyone in life, ever. Ponder that for 1 second so I can grab a bottle of water. So if you can't be honest with yourself, then you can't be honest with your attorneys, right? Also, I would like to point out that he should go to no more Patriots games because we were in a goddamn 10-game winning streak until that little asshole showed up at a goddamn Patriots game, and then we fucking lost. And then we lost. Fuck. God damn it. God motherfucking damn it. He's a goddamn just everything he touches turns to shit. Go to the Patriots game, we lose a 10-game winning streak. Like, never attend a game again, sir. Okay? You're a fucking bad omen. You're like the movie Omen. You're Damien. You're like the incarnation of the goddamn devil. What happened? Popcorn jury? What? Wait, what? What am I missing? Hold on. Hey. What hearing? What hearing? Am I missing something? What hearing? What? Hold on a second. What? I'm confused. What are we looking for, Michelle? Hold on. What hearing? I'm confused. Is there a hearing that we're missing here? Juror? What juror? What juror? I'm confused here. Which juror? What hearing? Is it an old hearing? Because he has a hearing on the 18th in New Jersey. Popcorn jurors. There's a post about Aiden from an hour ago. Okay. Is it on X or YouTube? Can anybody tell me that? Is it YouTube, I'm guessing? Or is it on X? Was it an hour ago today? Yes, today's the 16th. I believe, right? Today's the 16th, right? Hold on. 16th. Yeah, today's the 16th. YouTube. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Idaho. Aiden Kearney court an hour ago. Hold on. I'll try to tell you when it's from.
I don't. Go to court numbers 3 and 4 on today's list. Commonwealth versus Aiden Kearney, 23 CR 313, 24 CR 43. Mr. Kearney is present and represented by Attorney Tim Bradle, who's present in court, and Attorney Mark Betterow, who is present via Zoom. The Commonwealth is represented by Special Assistant District Attorney Robert Cosgrove. Matter is on for various motion hearings. If the parties could please identify themselves for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Robert Cosgrove for the Commonwealth.
Okay. Hello, Your Honor.
They're going through. They've been going through them for 3 months.
Kearney, person for the record. Okay. Mr. Kearney's here. Good afternoon. And Mr. Bedrow, you're on Zoom, are you?
I am, yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
All right.
Like
before we call this case, this is going to take a little bit of time. Are there any other cases that need to be heard today? Nothing else. Okay. All right. Is there a natural order to things here?
If it's older.
My thought, thank you very much,
counsel.
my thought, Judge, was that I filed a notice of interlocutory appeal on Your Honor's ruling on the suppression, and I filed in connection with that a motion to stay the taint team procedure until the single justice can either accept the petition, deny the petition, refer it to the appeals court or the full bench, which I think would probably take, into about mid-January, Your Honor. And for the reasons that I cite therein, and I let me read it. I just handed it to me just a minute ago. And on that point, Judge, I don't expect. Let me just read it. Let me just read it because I'm gonna. Yeah.
I'm so confused right now. Because they've already been going through his phones for 3.5 months. Yeah, it's the 16th today. 16th is today. Tomorrow's the 17th. So unless it's December 17th of 2024, which would make sense if they went to suppress, because ultimately Aiden's phones were given to the taint team. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's good to point out things that you see that are new anyway, because if there is something we miss, we always want to know, but I'm pretty sure that this is old. I'm just going to make sure by listening in a little more because it sounds like Krupp to me. That sounds like Judge Krupp. So
have you had a chance to take a look at this, Mr. Cosgrove?
I have, Your Honor.
Okay.
Maybe it's
is there an opposition to it?
Yes.
No, it sounds like Krupp.
Mr. Bradle, I hear you on it. Thank you very much, Your Honor. So, Judge, it's really just a balance of harms issue in your discretion that, the government is poised to further search through Mr. Kearney's remaining devices, wherever they haven't searched yet. And, there's very important things in there. There's about, Mr. Kearney has about 5 or 6 other matters in which he has attorney-client privileged communications in his devices. He has journalist source material. The reason, but I see, what
not covered here.
The next step is to get a taint team protocol. That's what we're going to do today. Sure. Either you have an agreement or you don't have it, and I'm going to enter an order. Yep. Okay. I haven't seen any opposition from you to the taint team protocol proposed by the Commonwealth. Correct. So I assume there's no opposition, and I should enter it. With respect to this motion to stay, all you're doing is seeking to stay the taint team. Correct. Right? I see no reason to do that because the DA is insulated from receiving any of that. You want to go up, you think you have a meritorious appeal, you'll take your crack at it. Sure. And if it gets stayed by the appeals court or a single justice, it gets stayed. But you're no more harmed by starting on the taint team process than not. I do have a response to that aspect of it, Your Honor, is that, there's some very sensitive journalist source material in these devices. We're not sure. We don't know. We don't have an inventory of what they've searched.
So let me that's Krupp. I know it is. That's definitely Krupp. It sounds like Krupp. It's Krupp. This is definitely old. But here's what I can say about at least what they're saying here. Bradel attempts to have it stayed. It doesn't get there, right? They still put the taint team in. They still have been going through his phones now at this point, right now, today, but in like 3.5, probably 4 months at this point, right? And in the state of Massachusetts, I'm so fucking tired today. Massachusetts, in the state of Massachusetts, in Massachusetts, there is no journalistic privilege, guys. It does not exist. We do not have journalistic privilege in the state of Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, that does not exist. It exists in other states, sure. Absolutely it does. And then journalists have, privileged source information and all that. That does not exist here. But it doesn't stop Mr. Bradel from constantly trying to assert a privilege that does not exist in this state. Oh yeah, so she could pull absolutely. And now we know, right? And I agree. He's not a fucking journalist, not by a goddamn long shot. Popcorn Juror, I think, is the name. But yes, this is old, so we can bump that out. But the point is he was trying to stop, right? He's trying to stop the taint team essentially from accessing certain things in his phone that he was concerned about. The problem with that is the taint team decides what's privileged, what's not. He doesn't get to decide. So they still look at everything. The taint team still looks at everything, and they just take whatever they think is privileged, lawyer communications out before the Commonwealth gets what they're going to give the Commonwealth. And so Judge Krupp was like, yeah, no, I'm not saying this. There's no reason to do that. And there wasn't a reason to do that at that point. Aiden's case has been delayed so much, and he likes to complain, the Commonwealth, the Commonwealth. It's not because of the Commonwealth. It's been delayed because of him. Him and his attorney keep trying to drag out everything and anything they can, because he stays out of jail longer if they keep dragging it out. And he kept, that's the other thing. Here you are screaming that you need your data protected while you're taking screenshots and sending them to anyone who will listen to you bitch and whine about what someone said, right? Privileged material, which once it's in the public sphere because you shared it, it's not privileged anymore. You have now waived your privilege. The attorney can't waive privilege. Only the client can. So the client is essentially waiving their privilege by sharing all this shit. Like a dumbass. Like an actual fucking dumbass. Which undermines his defense. In which the defense isn't whether he did the things that he's accused of doing. He's already admitted in the last hearing. And the judge was like, essentially, we're not arguing about whether Mr. Kearney did this. We're arguing about whether it's First Amendment covered or not. In which I will point out, Judge Doolin, funny enough, wrote in his decision when they went for the first motion to dismiss that it is in fact not First Amendment. The rest of the charges that remain now, he dismissed some that had to do with like the officers that he further harassed, but he left the ones for the private citizens, and the private citizens ones, Judge Doolin said, are not First Amendment. And so I really don't know why they're still arguing. I mean, it's his only chance. That's why they're still arguing. I mean, I know why, but it's a ridiculous argument. It's a ridiculous argument. It just is. You can't bring people for a rolling rally, which, by the way, if you plan those ahead of time, you have to get a permit from the city. You have to apply for and get a permit from the city if you're going to do something like a rolling rally. He didn't. And he did this whole back end sort of hush hush, but not really hush hush, getting people to go to each person's house, scream that they're a murderer through a bullhorn while they're active witnesses in a case. That is not First Amendment covered. That's well beyond. When you incite mobs of people to harass others, it's not First Amendment covered. The First Amendment is not fucking absolute, right? Let's go back to the old Supreme Court decision that says that you can't run into a crowded movie theater and scream fire when there's no fire, because you're causing chaos. You're inciting people to run out. And if someone gets hurt because they're dogpiling at the door and someone gets trampled and died, you're responsible. You can't just run into a theater and scream that there's a fire when there's no fire. That's decided. That's decided. That's been decided by the Supreme Court a long time ago. That's legal precedent, okay? The First Amendment is not absolute. You can say whatever you want, but you have to deal with the consequences of what you're choosing to do. It does not protect you by being like, well, it's the First Amendment, sir, ma'am. Dear everyone, I'm the sewer turtle. I raised my angry fist, and I'm going to, Your Honor, I'm going to drag your family if you don't do what I want. I mean, what kind of actual fucking genius do you have to be to every time you leave a court hearing and you don't get the answer you want from the judge or you lose emotion to actually get on social media and start talking shit about the judge in your case? How fucking stupid do you have to be? How actually dumb do you have to be? Really? I have no idea what the falling out was about with Alessi and Karen. I know it happened. There was also a falling out with Yannetti. I just don't know. I can't, like, I've heard rumors of the reasons why, but nothing concrete on exactly why there was a falling out with each of them. I wish I could answer that because I'm not sure. You know? Yeah, the pictures are old, but that's fine. They're just adding it for, for whatever. I want to see the conversation when he asked his lawyer for his own extraction. See, that might come in now because now Meredith has reposted those screenshots that show that Aiden asked Meredith to take the extraction and open it up because he couldn't open it up. Couldn't open it. And to get all the information out of it and to do this and to do that. And she did. And then he claimed, she stole it, which he then claimed in the email to the cops last week that she stole it. Except his text messages and screenshots prove otherwise, but he didn't show that to anybody because that doesn't fit his narrative, right? Never does. It's dangerous. It is extremely dangerous when you are willing to lie with a straight face in the way that he is. He can get in front of, he's got 100 and something thousand, I think, subscribers or whatever it is. If you can get in front of that camera and lie to 200,000 or so-ish people with a straight face for hours and hours and hours and frame something in a completely different light than what it truly is, to frame yourself as the victim and the other person as the bad one, you have to be truly sick in the head, in my opinion. Very truly sick. You're making up detailed stories that never happened. You have to be truly sick. And here's a kicker for you. Aiden's not the only one over there in Turtle Land that's that sick. He's got quite a few little coat riders, people who watch him, viewers, subscribers, whatever you want to call them. If you want to go like what Mike calls them, he calls them dick riders now. Copyright Mike from the Young Jerks. He calls them dick riders. He's not wrong, right? He's not wrong. See, here's the thing, right? Had my issues with Meredith and her behavior. I have. But I can also recognize that when someone's telling the truth, because I have 72 other people that tell the exact same story with evidence, that she doesn't know, she doesn't like, or she, you know what I mean? Either she doesn't know existed, doesn't like, were long before she ever existed in his life, so on and so forth. All of these same people, I better not be getting sick. All of these same people that don't know each other or don't like each other, right? Tell the same story. Almost exactly. Same tactics, same wording, same behaviors, over and over and over and over. What are the fucking odds that all of those people are crazy and scammers and wrong and assholes and weirdos and all the things he likes to call everyone? What are the chances that every single person is that, but he's the victim? What are the fucking odds? Realistically, what are the odds? Not good, right? Common denominator, sewer turtle. Common denominator in all of it, sewer turtle. Common denominator in leaking things, sewer turtle. He hasn't learned. I mean, you go back to like 2018, he was leaking out like group texts and chats with other people revenge porn and so on and so forth. This is not new behavior. It's not new. It's not just, oh, he's having a breakdown now and he's freaking out now. And so he's like going on a tangent now. Like, this has been years and years and years of doing all of this, you know? That's terrible. Does anybody know what 5150 means? Do I have to tell the class? I mean, first of all, where did she get the term? Because to be fair, I don't think she's smart enough to know what 5150 means on her own. You know, she is very organized. I'm not even that organized. I'll tell you that much. Organized, but not like that. You know, I don't do spreadsheets and like, I think she does that for work as far as what I understand. But I'm not a spread. I have to handwrite. I like to handwrite shit. Like, yeah, I can do it on the computer, but I'm like old school. Like, I want to see it in my writing and I know what, you know what I mean? Like, I can't. Yes. 5150 literally means crazy or like mental health emergency. Actually, here in the state of Massachusetts, we call that a Section 12. A Section 35 is for like addiction, right? That you're a danger to yourself or others because of your habits of either getting drunk or using drugs. A Section 12 is a mental health emergency where you can be held for 72 hours. A Section 35, you can be held up to 90 days. Although they never hold you 90 days. You're lucky to be there 30. I call Turtle Twat. The number, she wanted the number for psychiatric hold. Well, technically here in the state of Massachusetts, we called those Section 12s. The cops use the numbers, but it's called a Section 12. It could be inside of the Van Halen album. I love you. It's so funny. I mean, here's the thing, right? Let me go back to this as we're talking about specifically Jess, right? Let me share my screen here because this is where we come in this thread to her comment on Bettero's thing, right? Right here. Right here. Right there. She says, I apologize for briefly perpetuating this rumor on my show this morning. Let me read that to you again, okay? I apologize for briefly perpetuating this rumor on my show this morning. There are 46 comments on this. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be possibly because Aiden told it to you, you told it to your audience? Why would you then say, I apologize for briefly perpetuating this rumor on my show this morning? It's not a rumor if it comes from the horse's mouth. So if Aiden was wrong, cool. Did he lie on purpose? I don't know. But by framing it as a rumor, you're essentially absolving him from any accountability in it, right? That's sort of stepping away from it. And that's fucking obnoxious because anybody with eyes and ears knows what you said, right? So, to be fair, there's a lot of people that need some mental health, you know, psychiatric holds right now. And I don't think putting out receipts of lies and trying to clear your name is necessarily one of those things. I think if you are making horizon charts on your closet wall about people you like and don't like based upon what the turtle told you, and also based upon the fact that you've never met half the people you put on your quote horizon social chart, maybe that needs a psychiatric hold. In my humble opinion, of course. I've seen people like Jess. I worked with them in a prison for the criminally insane. They can act completely normal in a moment, and then all of a sudden they lose it. Absolutely lose it. It's like, listen, okay? Listen. Let's not go talking about who needs a fucking psychiatric hold or not, because more often than not, there are a lot of crash outs happening, all right? I don't need to draw a goddamn social horizon chart to tell you who I like and don't fucking like, right? I don't like you, Jess, because I think you're fake. I don't like you because you're a hypocrite. I don't like you because you sit there and you help a man do exactly what he did to you that you still complain about to this day. What does that say about you and your character? You pick on everyone else on planet Earth for having less than, but you seem to forget where you came from. Life is a struggle, my friend. We all struggle. Everyone's just trying to make it by, right? You want to, create content by doing the shock jock thing because that's what he does. cool. By all means, do it. But don't cry when someone else does the exact same thing to you that you are perpetuating with Aiden and helping him do. Don't do it. Don't cry over spilt milk at that point. Don't have an epic meltdown about how the other Republican lady is posting your old videos out of context and wah, wah, wah. When you literally say that that's harassment and you should probably get an order on her and it's terrible and it's awful and it's all these things, what the fuck do you call what Aiden does then? You call that journalism? Well, why can't that other lady be doing journalism then? It only applies to people you like and don't like. That's called being a hypocrite, my friend. I don't think it should happen to anybody, including you, Jess, even though I don't like you. I don't think it should happen to you either. It's not normal adult behavior. It's weirdo shit. It's weirdo behavior, as we call it here. Lots of fucking shenanigans. Lots of shenanigans. Let's be honest about the shenanigans that are going on behind closed doors, where Aiden calls and screams and yells at you when you say something that he doesn't like on your own show. If you have to worry about somebody calling and screaming and yelling at you and closing your mouth about something that he wants you to close your mouth about and silencing and censoring yourself because he's upset, that's not a friend. That's someone you're afraid of. That's someone you're afraid of, and you're afraid of the way they're going to react, so you do as you're told. Take a good gander in the mirror and think about, use your brain cells for one moment, even if you have to like clear them back for a second, okay, and jump them out of the cult. Do you really think someone is your friend who you're afraid of? And you can say you're not. I mean, you can publicly say you're not, but it's very abundantly clear to me that if you're willing to censor yourself and shut a stream off because he doesn't want you talking about something, right? Or even saying one tiny thing he doesn't like, he blows a gasket. That's not a friend, right? To be fair, there are certain things that I would never talk about that friends talk to me about because they're my friends, right? So I wouldn't do that. But I also would never, ever, ever allow somebody to call me up screaming and yelling and demand that I stop doing X, Y, or Z. That's weird. If you're afraid that he's going to write another blog and drag your family and you have to protect them by pandering to him, then no at that point, you're not a friend. He's not your friend. You're just afraid and in self-preservation mode. So you do and say whatever you have to keep him at bay. That's not normal. That's not a healthy, normal friendship or relationship in any goddamn capacity. I wonder if anybody close to you has ever pointed that out. If you're perpetuating that same toxic behavior, though, then you're just as bad as him. Pick a fucking lane. You either don't like the behavior or you do. If you don't like the behavior that Holly McNamara, the name just came to me, Holly McNamara has done to you, then you wouldn't like the behavior that Aiden does to others. You can't have it both ways. You can't say it's bad when Holly does it, but it's awfully great when Aiden does. Can't have your cake and eat it too, dude. It's one or the other. You either don't like the behavior or you do. And this is kind of why I get flack from both sides, because I don't condone the behavior on either fucking side. I think it's deplorable, no matter who does it. And I call it out, no matter who it is. You know, a lot of people do, though, Cla. And then what happens is they get burned every fucking time. They get burned. Dare I say they get melted. And they fall into the cracks. Because they're willing to do his bidding and simp for him and make excuses for him until he's ready to throw them under the bus. Until he's so paranoid that someone's telling his secrets and he can't remember that he's telling his own secrets to various other people who are telling various other people, that he blames you. And then when he blames you, he goes nuclear. Even though it probably wasn't you. It was one of the 17 other people he told that he forgot he told it to. I agree with you, Barb. I agree with you. You know? Wouldn't be a shock to me, Sam. It really wouldn't, you know? It wouldn't be a shock, but I mean, come on, man. You can't complain about what other people do to you and say it's harassment and it's bullying and it's bad, bad, bad when that's the exact same behavior your bestie, your friend, your quote friend, right? Your friend does, and that you help perpetuate. I mean, views are great, right? But they pay shit. So I don't even know why what's the, listen, okay? I think I've talked about my views maybe like 3 times total, right? Numbers, views, numbers are numbers. They go up, they go down. They go up, they go down. You know, mine steadily kind of like go up little by little, but I'm not a huge channel. So I don't expect big jumps. You know, I don't expect that, right? And YouTube, to be fair, does not pay a lot of money per view. It's like 1/10 of a cent or whatever it is. It's like, you know, $5 per 1,000 views on one video, and it could be 25 cents per 1,000 views on another. Like it varies so greatly. You never know what it's going to be. And it's not a lot. Like you might get $150 for the entire month for a channel my size for the entire month. So that's hours and hours and hours and hours. And like, it's crazy, right? I have a channel of 3,003 as I looked this morning, 3,003, I think it was, right? My videos get anywhere from 1,000 to 2 to 3 views. Now that's 50 to 75% of the people who watch me watching my videos. That's pretty good for a small channel. That's damn good, right? That's a big percentage of the people who subscribe watching your content, right? Now, if that had been 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 subscribers, and then yeah, that correlates into like a normal size paycheck. But when you're a smaller creator, that's not the way it works, right? She could sustain just off the memberships because she gets constant memberships, right? But why constantly talk about the numbers and views? For what? What does that accomplish, really? To tell the audience about like views and numbers, like they care, unless you're asking me about it. And I think the couple times we've talked about it is people asking like how YouTube works, or if they want to start a channel, how do they do this or that? I don't really like, the numbers are the numbers. I can't change them. I can't, you know, I can do the best I can to make them go up, and that's it. That's all I can do. But I also take the shady tactics out of it. I don't only read comments that are super chats or super stickers, right? It's a tactic that smaller creators and then bigger creators also use so that people will donate, because then their comment is read. I feel like it's a little snaky and a little slimy, so I don't do it. Does it lose me money? Sure fucking does. But myself, choose not to do it because it, to me, feels gross, right? I don't like it. I don't fucking like it. I choose to allow people to choose to donate monetarily when I point out like, hey, these are the ways you can donate, or you can get yourself a membership, or you can do a super sticker or a super chat. Like you can choose to do that. I don't choose to just read only, because then you miss a ton of stuff. You miss wicked good points people make, things that you didn't think of. People are trying to point you in the direction of something that just happened, and you're missing it because you're only reading the super chats and the super stickers. And I think you kind of miss out on your community when you do that. You're losing a sense of community when you do that. You're not connecting with your audience, right? And so I choose not to do that, right? Because it's more important to me that I connect with you guys, right? That I form relationships and bonds with all of you. Like that's, I mean, again, that's the way I run my show. It's not the way everyone else runs theirs. And I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not poo-pooing on anybody who doesn't run theirs that way. Everybody has a choice, right? But I don't see a point in talking about views and numbers with people who aren't YouTube creators. It just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Unless you're asking, you know, that's a good question, Barb. I don't know, you know, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in that saga, you know? Well, that's the thing. It's either okay for everyone or okay for no one. It can't be okay just for the people you like and not okay for the people you don't. I mean, come on. We're not 5. You know what I mean? We're not fucking 5. I think Jess said he told her for clout once Meredith put it out. She wanted to be seen as in the know. Joke's on her. I mean, it's weird. I don't know why you would want to be in the know on that. That's fucking weird. You know what I mean? Weird. No worries, Melanie. No worries at all. I wish people wouldn't hate watch or find a workaround to hate watch. Giving him hate views makes him money. Yes, it certainly does, which is why I don't do it. I refuse. I flat out fucking refuse. But there are those of you that do the hard work for me, and I appreciate you for that, because I can't stomach the constant lies. It's something I literally feel sick to my stomach watching. I'm like, I cannot watch the constant lies and spin come out of his mouth. I can't do it. He's a victim and everyone else sucks. I can't do it. I literally can't, right? I can't. It's a punchable face. I can't do it, all right? It's very punchable. I can't. Makes me want to punch my screen. And I like my screens. I would like to keep my screens. I'm not a violent person, but the face on my screen makes me want to punch the screen. It's a punchable face. I'm just saying. Oh, she does? That's good. I'm glad she does. You connect with your audience better that way, you know? You do. It's that. So that's the other thing. That toxic narcissism for me is like a trigger in my brain that goes off. Like I have CPTSD. So for me, it's like brings me back to that moment where I had to deal with someone just like him. And it's not fun. I don't like it. I don't like the feeling. The feeling is like ick. It's just a very large ick in your stomach. And you're like watching them manipulate and lie and spin and do all these things to make people believe something that didn't happen so that he can be the victim and everyone else is just out to get him. Everyone else is just bad. Everyone's just out to get him. And that's that. Like, no, everyone would just like if you would stop harassing people and dragging their families and their children and their this and their that, because there's no real purpose in any of it other than to harm people and play shock jock, right? But you're harming real people's lives. So if you stop doing that, we could stop talking about it. We could do that. We could totally do that. Do I think he's magically going to stop? Absolutely fucking not. This is something he's been shock jocking for 10 years. Come on. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Narcissists are the worst. I agree with you, Lisa, 100%. I'm not a fucking fan. You know, this person said once again. So this is the comments, right, that are on her thing for the comment that she made about like, I apologize for briefly perpetuating this rumor on my show this morning. All right. 1 second, guys. All right. 1 second. God damn. I hear something rolling down the street, like it's on wheels or something. Like, why is there something rolling down the street on wheels? That's weird. So Jonathan Bowen said, well, who told you he was leaving? Right? As in, who told you Betterow was leaving? And I said, she said Aiden told her himself, right? Lasik said, once again, you tell the truth, but then apologize, then double down. Constantly inconsistent. She puts the cat pondering. Okay, cool. Kimmy H says, briefly, nice try. Attempting to diminish your comment. So who lied to you? What made you confidently state something as fact? Can you be transparent and defend your reputation? This person, Sherilyn Schaffner, said, you? Really? I thought so much better of you, Jess. Auntie Bev's bestie said, good reporting. Blicky Bill said, don't you have a repo man to call the cops on? Get off the internet. Not nice, Blicky Bill. Kay Marie said, you said Aiden told you Saturday. So you lied again? When in doubt, simply take the Melanie Little route. We deal in facts here, not rumors and speculation. Listen, I can say confidently that is Melanie Little doesn't always deal in facts. She absolutely sometimes deals in rumors and speculation. So, I mean, she can't, anybody is going to speculate on certain things, period. We all have, that's called an opinion. You're speculating, right? Everyone's going to have a goddamn opinion. They're like assholes, right? Everyone has one. So to say, like, come on, Melanie, we know, come on, stop it. You do, in fact, speculate. Don't claim that you don't. That's ridiculous. You know? Yeah, rumor. Either he's lying, either she's lying or he is. Both ways make her less credible than she already is. I mean, it was the way she made the comment. Like, sorry, I perpetuated this rumor. Well, is it a rumor if it came from him, right? So CSI girl in the house said, you said TV told you himself, right? This person's defending it. Even if he did tell her, did he tell her it was okay to run to the internet and make it public, especially if it was TV panicking, thinking Betterow was dropping him without actually knowing? I mean, to be fair, does he ask permission to go and lie to his audience about people and drag their lives? No, he certainly doesn't. So I don't think anybody else needs his fucking permission. Just saying. If you don't extend that courtesy to other people, why do you expect that it's extended to you, you know? As you've seen, anything that happens with Aiden when it's his life and it comes out that he's been lying is, this was personal and private. No one should know, because it's personal and it's private. No one should know about it anyway. We're not going to talk about it because it's personal and it's private. When does that ever get, when does that ever get extended to anyone else that he attacks and they're defending themselves? No one. 0 people. No one else gets that. Why the fuck would he think that everyone else is going to extend the courtesy to him to be like, well, that happened in his private life, but now that it's public, we're not going to talk about it because he doesn't want us to. So shh, everyone, he lied, but shh, because it was private, right? While you're dragging other people on the internet and actively lying about them, like, no, bro, like, that's not how this works. Here's an idea. If you stop doing that, no one would really care what your dumpster fire life is like, okay? Everyone's life is a little bit of a dumpster fire. We're all fucking trying to hang in there. But when you're actively forcing it, like making your dumpster fire worse on purpose, that's fucking crazy. That's just crazy. Most people are like trying to do better, but like treading water, right? Like they're stuck in the perpetual circle of like paying their bills and like then all the money's gone, right? Like most people are treading water just to keep their head up. This dude is literally bobbing on purpose. He's like sticking his head in the water on purpose and just sitting there and then bobbing his head up and being like, why? Why are people forcing me to put my head in this water and hold my breath? Why is everybody else making me do crazy things that I choose to do? What? What? I can't. They wish they were as cute as you, Shay. Duh. Hello, they're just jealous. I laugh when they say things about my looks. Like, oh, you're ugly. I just laugh. Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys, I need to take that call. It was important. It's just, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like the lack of, so, okay, so this person makes the excuse, right? And then Johanna said, I've been sticking up for you saying you didn't know, but not realizing I hadn't watched it all. Was it crossed wires or Aiden just panicking and paranoid? Oh, well, whatever. Mark staying and Aiden seems much better. That's what you got from this? I mean, listen. I need people to use their brain cells here. Okay. Why would Aiden tell 2 different people that don't like each other the same thing? There's only 2 reasons. He's panicking and automatically thought they were going to leave and started having a meltdown about it. Right. Or he lied on purpose. Either way, both not a good look. Both not an excuse. So Brenda Rogers says this was TB lying, surprise, surprise, to Meredith to get some sympathy. He tried to have her arrested. He did. He needs help. Mark should want nothing to do with him. And I agree, any self-respecting attorney, once again, would have already bailed on this. Why, when you admit Aiden told you about MB himself, did you immediately try to deflect and shift blame onto Meredith, who would not have been a link in your chain at all? That was whack. Again. George said you said TB told you himself MB was leaving. So how are you perpetuating a rumor? Good fucking point. I do not trust this woman at all. Why did your bestie lie to you? In all fairness, you were acting on information from Aiden. So that's not a rumor if it's coming from the horse's mouth, right? Apologize for telling the truth. Why? Why did you run with it without vetting first? Because Krusty Meredith said so? Now, gee, I wonder if that not Mike account could possibly be Aiden. I don't know. Maybe. Do that or a very large simp. Right? It was a skim mill. Truly, you can't be faulted. I don't even know what that means, but cool. You did? Which side are you on anyway? Since, sadly, there are now sides. This person says, sure, Jan. I don't know why, but I always love this meme. Jess, been following you for a bit, and I loved your coverage of the Karen Reed trial. I wish you'd find something new to cover and go for it. You're being intertwined with this Twitter drama is really odd. Does anyone verify anymore? Now, okay, here's the thing. How do you not verify it when it comes from the horse's mouth? It's coming from the client of the attorney. That is as close as it gets to verifying it, right? The person whose attorney it is should absolutely know whether their attorney is bowing out or not. So what do you mean? Like, I don't like Jess, but you can't verify it more than going to the person whose attorney it is or them telling you. That's literally verifying it. That's what, like, what? And this Monkey Grams person says you're a trash journalist and a huge gossip. Get a life. This person says, can you vote to put lying Psycho Meredith below the bottom line? Like, listen, I'm happily proud to be on the bottom of your dumb horizon chart. Okay. I will wear that with pride. Thank you. That's exactly where I would like to be. Far away from that fucking nonsense and that ridiculousness. The ads under your comment clearly know your audience. Meow. Okay, weird. 51 minutes ago. I know drama brings people to listen, but this should stop between you all. TV helped reveal corruption to the world and help free an innocent woman. Let's be clear here. He didn't help reveal anything. He was fed the story. He was given it. It was given to him, right? Even Meredith, at this point, has admitted that story was fed straight to him by the defendant herself. If that's not investigating, that's not looking into it, that's being handed all of it and then repeating it. That's parroting. That's not journalism, by the way. That's not how it works. You have to actually vet these things yourself and whether the person is telling you the truth or not. Just saying. Yeah, I made the chart. I made it. The beach is that way. I made the dumb chart. Maybe. It's a very big possibility that Bettero was like, listen, get your fucking act together and stop your bullshit and stop sharing privileged shit or I'm outie. 5,000. You know? But at that point, that's just him saying, like, if you don't stop, I'm leaving. That's not saying, like, hey, I'm out of here. So why would Aiden think that Bettero was going to bail and tell two separate people that don't even like each other and have a meltdown to the point where he had to call Meredith? Like, he clearly thought Bettero was leaving the team, in my opinion. Otherwise, why have the meltdown unless you're trying to set her up? And if you're trying to set her up, why tell Jess the same thing? That doesn't really track. If you're telling Jess the same thing, are you trying to set them both up? It's kind of weird. You know? I would have had enough, right? Wouldn't have, I mean, anybody, like I've said a million times, even in this stream, any self-respecting attorney at this point would have already bowed out because he's a liability. It's your law license on the line. It's your professionalism. It's you. He's embarrassing. He's a damn liability to his own defense. I would have bowed out a long time ago. How many times are you going to tell someone to get their act together before you bounce? How many times do you need to tell them that before you actually bounce? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't doubt that at all. I 100% agree with you, Sparkly Rabbit, that I think absolutely he probably told him, like, get your shit together, dude. Like, get your shit together. You know what I mean? Golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. Well, I agree with you, Trisha, on that. But you're giving him too much credit, darling. You're giving him too much credit. I mean, I'm trying to use critical thinking here, right? Like, why also tell Jess the same thing you told Meredith? If you're trying to set Meredith up, it doesn't make sense to tell Jess it as well and freak out about it and be upset about it, unless Mark actually made the comments like, hey, if you don't cut the shit, or you know what, I think I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, something had to have triggered that. Something did. Hold on.
Something had to have triggered it. Things are very quiet, weirdly quiet, right? This person, Lena, said, jumped right on that, didn't you? Even though you had no idea what you were talking about. There was 40-something people, right, that commented under this. The lack of self-awareness on a lot of this is staggering to me. That here we are, right before Christmas time. He doesn't learn the first 72 times he shares privileged information. Keeps sharing it, right? Claims that he's going to stop going after Meredith, which, I mean, he's claimed stuff like that before, right? Hold on. Okay, hold on. This was a response from Meredith from 19 hours ago. And she said she was responding to someone else who responded to Jess's thing. Someone that I have blocked or they have me blocked, one or the other. And she said, this is what Meredith said. She said, I hate to throw Jess even the tiniest of bones, but you're right. On Saturday, I was told I lost my lawyer today. Betero is out. I can't do this anymore. I miss you. Those were Aiden's exact words to me on Saturday. Apparently, that wasn't true. Either way, I'm just grateful that chaos is no longer part of my life. And it's like, that's what it is. It's constant chaos. Constant chaos when dealing with him. Everything is constant chaos because he can't get out of his own way. Why can't you get out of your own way is the question. Why? Also, I would like to take the second here to wish my friend Shawnee a happy sobriety anniversary, birthday, if you will, of your sobriety, and just want to wish my friend Sean a happy sobriety birthday because today is that day from many moons ago. And anybody who's gotten sober, whether it was alcohol or drugs, knows that that's an important day that comes around every year, and it's another year that you made it. You made it. You're alive and well, and you made it out of an addiction, and that's important. And so I'm just going to say congratulations to Sean, because it's a long time, many moons, my friend. Technically, midnight was the time, but I was going to text him at midnight, obviously. I'm not going to text him at midnight and be like, hey, text, sometimes they call it your birthday, Ooh, you better party like it's 1999, Prince style. Party like it's 1999. Happy early birthday, my friend. Happy early birthday. I'm going to look at something here. Hold on. Uh-oh. MIT professor in the nuclear science and engineering and physics department shot and killed in Brookline, Massachusetts. What? Hopefully this isn't related to Brown. Hold on one second, guys. Not good. Hold on a second. That's crazy to me. Hold on. This is what's being reported. I'm not. PM breaking news says breaking. MIT professor in nuclear science and engineering and physics department shot and killed in Brookline, Massachusetts. I hope this isn't connected to Brown, but they're still looking for the guy from Brown. Interesting. a lot of people are drawing that same correlation. Geez. Fingers crossed on that it has nothing to do with Brown University, because I know that they're still outstanding looking for that shooter. So for the 695 of you watching me on X currently, that's a rabbit hole I might go down later. If I were you guys on X, I'd be already rabbit holing to figure out what the hell happened there. And I obviously probably will later, but as of right now, it's almost 3 o'clock. So, and I've been on almost 3 hours. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to attempt a experiment later tonight. Maybe, I don't know what time, maybe 7. I don't know. I'm going to conduct an experiment of trying to do a later after like 5 live stream and see how that goes. There's a lot of people that don't get to watch us because we're on during the day here. And I want to see if that makes a difference at all. So if you guys are around then, you know, I'll put a post up before I go live. I'll put one obviously in the Discord and one on Twitter because I don't have an exact time right now. I usually, you know, plan it around like dinner after I make dinner. So I think I'm going to do that later on today and see how that goes. Experiment time to see if we need to change times or adjust a little. Always we'll cover trials during the day if there's trials. But I think while we just finished one, I'll see if maybe when I'm not doing a trial during the day, what it looks like at nighttime. So on your way out, I would ask you hit the like button and subscribe if you already have not. We'd appreciate it. And if you'd like to support the channel, there's a bunch of different ways you can do so. There's Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Revolut. Those of you out of country, we have a link for debit and credits in the description of the video here on YouTube. It's pinned in the top of the live chat as well. Works for any credit or debit card. We have an Amazon wish list. That's in the description of the video as well. And then there are the normal super chat, super sticker. When the video is over, it's called a super thanks, but you can do it as a comment, which is kind of cool. And make sure you get your membership to the channel before Christmas Eve, before we have our members only Christmas Eve pajama party. Because we're just going to hang out and have a blast. I love your stinking faces. Obviously, any donations that come in after I'm not live anymore, I'll read tomorrow. Or later on, actually, because if I'm going to be on later on, obviously it makes sense to read them later on. But I love your stinking faces, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. See you later.